All those shapes are beautiful now. I'm seeing clear inside my head. I feel at peace. I love all people. We are united. We respect. All those shapes are beautiful now. I'm seeing clear inside my head. I feel at peace. I love all people. We are united. We respect. Go up wide, I've lost on paving my way to the top. Dreams no So look at me as we walk through the crowd. Remember we have got it figured out. So look at me as we walk through the crowd. Remember we have got it figured out.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to say those words again. Oh no, you don't have to. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself, 'cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember it all. Yeah, you tore it apart down to every last piece. Yeah, a souvenir, another story to tell. And I gotta know how to find happiness in the wrong place. 'Cause it never ends, it's there in all ways. It's evident you never change for our sake. We're falling now. Your little black book ran out of pages. 'Cause if you're gonna take it all, then baby, don't waste.
Wyatt Tinsley sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Barr FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordy Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Get your front there.
He's got it. He's got it.
Canvas is going to win. FTF.GG welcomes you into the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, California. Whoa.
Nice.
Where are we, Bill? Nevada. Sean, you know what? I think you should just take over. It's the Slipstream Signs Jackpot 300. We're rolling. Malik Race stalled the car. The field is moving. Let's just go to the grid. Hamilton Akaboyeze, he's your pole sitter tonight. Daniel Botafuco second, Wyatt Tinsley third, Sander Nyhoff fourth, then Mercurio, Ray, Gary, Parker, White, Daniel Falkingham, Brandon Hawkin, your top 10.
And Blake Reynolds, Omar Diallo, Sebastian Marin, Kevin King, Matthews Wack, Michael Guess, who's not on the racetrack, Rocky Boyd, Aaron Riolo, got busted for cheesing during qualifying, so he will endure some penalties. Kevin McAdams, Michael P. Frisch Jacob round out the front 20 cars.
Implications there for Guest. He's one of our playoff drivers. You've got Jack Mace there, Cosmin Yoneshu, Jonathan Oates, Seth Knoll, David Cabrera, Chase Schaefer making, I think, his first start. Chris Wetz, Lawson Peel, Alex Collins, Matt Spalding.
Josh Chin, Chase Durheim, Nick Miller, Jonathan Goke, Ryan Naraki, Joseph Armstrong, David Brown, Scotty Smith not on the racetrack, Jonathan Oshalim, Brett Punkari, Jordan Worth will round out this field as we keep on. There's more, but like
yes,
HCO's
your
being really
provos here. I think Scotty Smith missed the show, but your provos would be Oshalim Punkari, Jordan Worth, Hudson, Tyler J. Williams, Pandicio, Art Reimer, and Brian Sabelski. At least those are the folks on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Akaboise and Buttafuoco lead us down to green. We're racing in the Sin City at Las Vegas.
We are so good at this.
Hey, at least I know where we're at this time.
We do. So we're California. Thank you, Zach. We're going to expect a lot of this. 3 wide, a little bit further back here in the field. Malik Ray going through the middle. He's going to go right underneath Sander Nyhoff, moving him back. Parker White looking to follow him through. They're very tight in the turn 3 with Falkingham, but I don't know if they want to be racing this tight in the race, Jacob, but hey, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to have fun out there. As they're going to battle for the lead off of 4, here comes Buttafuoco to the outside.
It's a 200-lap race, and right now they're racing like there's 2 laps to go. Akaboise on the inside, Buttafuoco on the outside. Trying to use the outside to his advantage is Buttafuoco. And he will take the lead on the high side and lead him off turn number 2 down the back straightaway, of course. Akaboise. No, I know who you are. Darn it, Buttafuoco. Just won a couple weeks back at Bristol.
There you go. So a big move by Malik Ray down the back straightaway. We just kind of missed it, but he dove underneath Brian Mercurio and Wyatt Tinsley 3 wide. Was able to pass Tinsley, not Mercurio. Now, it's going to be this type of race. You see everybody running on the bottom. You see a couple guys running in the middle. You see Brandon Hawken back there. I think that's Blake Reynolds back there, maybe doing it. But expect some people to go all the way up to the wall in turns 3 and 4 here. You see one of them doing it back there. I can't really tell who that is. I think that's a 31 of David Cabrera back there. 3 wide. He's nearly in the wall. And that's one of the things you'll see is guys trying to find room off of turn 4, and it just isn't there. It looks wide, but it narrows out in a hurry.
Yeah, that's part of the issue here with this racetrack. Too many race cars and not enough real estate. Still 3 wide off turn 2. Jonathan Oates backs out of it, and they settle down for now. Again, this is outside the top 20 here with Jack Mace, Cosman Yoneshu, Matt Spalding up there on the outside. Single file through most of the field, at least at the very front. They are nose to tail. It's pretty close here in the big middle of the top 5. You got Wyatt Tinsley, Daniel Falkingham, Parker White, and Brandon Hawken all under a blanket here. 4 playoff drivers. That's 5th on back.
And this is what you'll see, single file up at the front, everyone just saving their tires. And then this has been typical 1.5-mile type racing here in FTF. You got everyone running on the bottom right here, as you see, just biding their time. Then you get to mid-pack, and that's where the action's picking up. See top of your screen there, Kevin McAdams side by side with Rocky Boyd. That's the battle for 16th. You see Lawson Peel up on the high side there as well. So a lot of guys David Cabrera in the 31 got really loose going into turn number 1. McAdams able to clear Boyd there and leave Peel up in the top lane. So it's going to be a battle of who is the most patient here to start this race. But you see people using that middle to top lane, Jacob, making those moves. And we'll see that throughout the first portion of this run is just ahead of these guys, Blake Reynolds and Kevin King going at it for the 10th spot.
What we heard from drivers in pre-race is that with this setup, if you turn right at all, you're probably in trouble.
Yes.
By the time you get around to saving that race car, you're going to be in the wall and have a lot of damage to the car. As 6 laps complete, see that battle still here for 10th. Kevin King, Michael P. Fresh, 2 playoff drivers in identical paint schemes. Of course, they're side by side. Then you got Blake Reynolds there to the outside trying to fit in line. Omar Diallo's in the 4 this week. They are 4 wide just about behind them. Some contact with the 999 to Chase Schaefer in the middle of that. The meat in the sandwich, but they sort it out for now.
And this is a wad of cars, as we've heard that term coined many, many times. Reynolds and Diallo still side by side for 12th. Lawson Peel with a big run on Matthews Wack. He's looking to go to the top in turn 3. Reynolds goes all the way up to the wall, looking to get that momentum off the corner. We'll see if he can make it work, and it looks like he will. So Reynolds going to use the wall to clear himself from Diallo in that dreaded side draft that'll keep you side by side in these cars. And he's going to go right to the back. bumper. There's contact in the one between Frisch and King.
It's two playoff drivers making contact, and it's Frisch got hit from behind, pushed by Blake Reynolds into Kevin King getting into turn number 1. So 3 playoff drivers stacking up, and almost disaster.
There, a lot of radio chatter happening after that one on the radio. So Frisch will stay to the top side. Reynolds is going to be able to slip on by and settle in behind Kevin King. Side by side is Diallo and Frisch, and 3 rows back there side by side. Lawson Peel there, Matthews Wack, Rocky Boyd, Alex Kolonix, and that gold, black, and red 22 car. I haven't mentioned him yet. He's in the mix there as well. So you're not missing anything towards the front. They're still just minding their P's and Q's up there. But this is the battle to watch in the mid-pack. So a lot of action right here.
And they're just fighting to get to the front right now. 3 stages. It's 200 laps in total. End of lap 50 is the end of stage 1. End of lap 100, the end of stage number 2. No stage breaks if you're new to FTF here. We keep on trucking. Even once the stages are done, no caution flags. The only time we get a caution on the ovals is if there is trouble.
By the way, we talked about him at the start of the race. Here's our Michael Guest update. He's currently sitting in 44th. There he is, still on the lead lap, but he is a lonely man and dead last. He's coming up on Chris Wetz, but we've seen him do this before, Jacob. He just mires himself at the back of the field at the start of these races, and he somehow gets a top 5 at the end. So we'll see how he does it in this one, but we got a long way to go to make that happen.
Might be tough if we stay green for a pretty long time. We've seen Frisch, he's known for starting from the pits, and it's bit him a couple of times this year in FTF, where he's trying to get off strategy, and if there's an early wreck, then he avoids it. But we get a long green flag run. It really hurts when you're miles back from the competition. So Michael Guest is probably in favor of an early caution to get him back with the rest of the field. Otherwise, it could be a long day for driver number 9. Let's take a look at the points on the left-hand side of your screen. Guest, 64 points back before tonight's race. Of course, next week at Homestead is the cutoff race for round number 2, when the bottom 4 drivers go home and will not get to fight for a championship. So we cut off next week at Homestead. Then we have Martinsville, Phoenix, and Auto Club is your round of 8 to get you to Atlanta to wrap up the season. Parker White, your winner last week, he's locked in. And everybody else right now, you're not safe.
Man, especially if you're in this group here. Look at David Cabrera in the 31. He's running the top line in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And heck, he's doing it in the tri-oval as well. So he's making that top lane work. The downside of that is his tires are going to be feeling it at the end of this run. He goes back up to the wall again. Now, that'll work sometimes, Jacob, if there's a big shadow in turns 1 and 2 with those billboards there to cool the track down and maybe not have the effect that bad. But you see him just throw it into turn 3 to the outside of Matthews Wack. So I'm going to pay close attention to David here and see just how much of fall off he experiences because of what he's doing here. But hey, it's working now, so maybe that could let him know this is a viable option for a short run to end the race. But we'll see. We got to get there first, but he's making some pretty good time up there.
Wyatt Tinsley got sideways and lost a lot of time through 1 and 2. And look at this field now bunched up behind him. Here comes the 115 to the inside of Michael P. Frisch. Kevin King came over the radio and said, quite a save, huh? Good stuff from the young gun and Wyatt Tinsley.
And they're finally racing up at the front after being single file through the whole race. Kind of no choice now. So Frisch is getting a big push from Parker White in front of Sander Nyhoff. In the 115, Daniel Falkingham behind him. Lawson Peel, Rocky Boyd nearly cut down in front of Kevin King right there. Nearly turned him around. Rocky did a good job realizing, yeah, he's there. So I should probably give him some room. So Kevin going to dive to the bottom. Here comes the aforementioned David Cabrera in the 31. Running the top that whole time. Now he's back to the bottom. And it's good to see these guys around the top 10 finally doing some racing here for once.
Yeah, got bunched back up together. Thought might as well bring out the boxing gloves and see what can happen. Kevin King, of course, your winner here last fall. Went on to win the Barnville FTF Cup Series Championship. Trying to replicate a run like that this year. He has not been to victory lane since the championship race at Phoenix a year ago.
That's pretty crazy to think about. The driver such as Kevin King, he seems like he's always in the mix every single week to win these races, but that just goes to show you the talent of these FTF Cup Series fields. You know, I don't want to say it's the closest thing you can get to a Coke race on the service, but it's the closest thing you can get to a Coke race on the service. You know, everybody, the strength of fields in these races are so high. Everybody's so talented. So it's really a feat in and of itself to make these races, let alone to win them. So it just goes to show just how stacked these fields are week in and week out.
And I'd argue the racing product we get, better.
Don't say that out loud.
I don't care. I'm not on the payroll.
All right, that's fair. But
the Artificial FTF Cup Series is better than the Coke Series. Book it.
Oh boy, what a take from Jacob Hitz. I'll support that take. Speaking of Coke Series and drivers hopefully making their way in, unfortunately, Michael P. Frisch in that 58 just got his pro license recently and making it to the Contender Series. I absolutely dreaded this day. I never hoped it would come, and now it's here, and he's not shut up about it. So he's a perennial championship contender every year in FTF since the NR days, and he's shown consistently why he is one of the best in the game as far as these cars go. So as much as I hate to see him get where he wants to be in towards the Coke Series, I've known him for a while. I'm happy to see where he's at, and dare I say, proud of him where he's been. And he's working that top lane right now, trying to make his way up to the field, looking at the outside of his buddy Brian Mercurio. And we just had what brushed the wall. Who was that? Yeah. Was that Rocky Boyd off of 4, or was it Kevin?
I think it was a little further back. Kevin King may have gotten it, but Chase Schaefer got awfully close as well in that 999. But, I mean, it didn't look like it was atrocious contact with the wall or anything, just a slight little kiss, and they kept on going. By the way, for the record, remember, Kevin McAdams beat Michael P. Frisch for the Legend of the Future Championship.
Rest
in case there's any doubt on who's the better driver there.
Rest in peace, that league, but, you know, I hope it comes back one day.
Is it firmly dead?
I hope it isn't, but there's rumblings. I need redemption in that league, but, you know, we'll see. But dare I say, Jacob, this racing at the front and now everywhere, it's been fantastic. You know, ever since we got that big bottleneck at the front of the field that jumbled everybody up, they're going for it now. We're 23 laps, going to be 23 laps into this run, and you know, we're seeing just how much, you know, the wear has come into play, and for what it's worth, everyone's still very, very close on the racetrack.
Well, and Hamilton Akabuze, I think, killed his tires because he started on pole, he's in 6th, he's about to get passed for 7th, and it just keeps going backward for the 045. You're right on board with the Moneyline machine. As he's got Daniel Falkingham to the outside, one of the championship contenders this year, as Botafuco has opened up about a 3/10 gap over Malik Ray in 2nd.
He is surrounded by Coke Series drivers there too, so that's not going to help his cause right now. That going back to that the talent level in this field, as I was talking about. So I'm not really sure what caused his tires to wear out like that. Maybe he's got his steering ratio not at a good point to where it just wears the fronts more, but he has slipped back tremendously. He was in the lead 2-3 laps ago, and now he slipped back to 10th. So he definitely would love to see a caution to see where that run happened, as Falkingham just ahead almost got into Lawson Peel off of turn 4. That could have been hectic.
Yeah, well, and further back, that was close. Chase Schaefer blinked coming off turn number 4 and gave everybody a heart attack from 16th on back. Comments over the radio, what the heck did we just see? Schaefer's back to earth now, holding on to 15th. 2 Red Banner drivers, playoff drivers right behind him, Blake Reynolds and Brandon Hawken, and they're about to split him.
Ooh. Producer Zach might have to just go to a blimp view to get all the action that's happening on the track as far zoomed out as he can go, but I'm watching up towards the front of the field. We got this battle here between Blake and Chase Schaefer right here, so there's a lot of storylines, implications, battles happening. I'm really enjoying watching this race so far. I really hope these guys can keep this up for a long green flag run, and I'm going to ruin it now. Dare I say, hopefully get some green flag stops as someone's in the wall up there. Is that Jonathan Oates? I think it was, and the 73 just pounded the wall in 3 and 4.
Not been a good season for that 73. Jonathan Oates just trying to bring it home in one piece. The former GNS champion. There are rumblings that GNS is back on Monday nights in 2024. Of course, I say rumblings. There was a tweet about it, so of course it's back. But 2024, mark it on the calendar.
Monday nights.
Yeah, Monday nights. Which, Core, I believe Core is moving away from Monday nights, so something else has to take over as the king of Monday nights, and looks like the GNS series is going to do it.
Sure. Are you going to be commentating that, Jacob?
I have no idea.
Okay. Just wanted to
Perhaps.
ask.
We'll see.
I can commentate it if Zach wants me to. I mean, I ran in it.
Is Zach even going to be producing it?
I hope not.
That's my next question.
He's going to yell at me the whole time. Okay,
Zach says yes. Okay, well.
Oh!
How about the battle for the lead, guys?
Yeah, Buttafuoco just pounded the wall off a 4. So that's weird seeing the leader with that clean air deal with that. And Malik Ray as they make contact at 1 and 2. And that's going to send Buttafuoco up the racetrack. Here comes Brian Mercurio to jump into second and move Malik Ray into P1. So that was a unique sequence of events from turn 4 all the way out to the backstretch.
And that's a playoff driver in Buttafuoco getting bullied out of the way by a non-playoff driver in Malik Ray. Now remember, Malik Ray has 2 wins this year, could have made the playoffs, but he did not meet the start requirement for those wins to lock him into the playoffs. And, well, he missed out.
Wow.
Sucks for him, but right now he's out in front.
And Malik, if he met that starting requirement, would definitely be one of the favorites, I would say, to win this championship. Just so good everywhere we go. And we're going to see how Brian Mercurio plays this. You know, he's one of the strong drivers here. He's definitely a championship contender. Of course, highest running of the playoff drivers right now. And if you're new here, playoff drivers indicated that red banner. Lawson Peel just hit the wall. Rocky Boyd.
Rocky Boyd. What a save in the tri-oval.
That's something I'm noticing, Jacob, as this run goes on. Everybody is just getting really tight. Like, it's a push loose off of turn number 4. And that's really just bottling these drivers up and making their exits just really just uncomfortable is the best word I can describe it with. Off turn 4, as you see Rocky, he's going to get it going right in front of David Cabrera and everybody else, it seems. And now that's kind of separated this into distinct packs. We got Kevin McAdams and Chase Schaefer up ahead of these guys. Are the only 2, and then they're 3 wide ahead of that group. So we have multiple packs now battling it out. So the racing later on in this run has been fantastic as we see everybody. Oates up against the wall. They're nearly 4 wide, it seems, and this is just getting hairy back here.
It's dicey. Back outside the top 15 toward the top 20. Everybody wants to move forward. Couple drivers moving back. And they're all just trying to get around.
Brian Mercurio just hit the wall off a 4 in second spot. So what is going on here? Seth Knoll to the apron. Jordan Worth there just right in the middle of all this.
Oh.
This is nuts right now. As you see him on the bottom getting pinched all the way down there. I believe that's Sebastian Marin he's right next to. So this is about 10, 15 cars just right under a blanket there. As we see dicey move after dicey move happening. And the racing, ever since that bottleneck, Jacob, we talked about, it hasn't slowed down a bit. This is fantastic.
Oh, David Cabrera saved it.
Yep, there are those tires.
He turned right, and that about cost him.
That's those tires we were talking about. I was paying attention to him, and he nearly gets more contact there from, I believe that was Jonathan Osherlim in the 11. And those tires from running that top side appear to be fried on Cabrera's car, so he needs a caution as well to get a new set of Goodyears on that thing.
Now 6 tire sets in the pit lane for these guys. Sean, you are the driver out of the 2 of us.
Sure.
200-lap race. We're coming up on the stage break here in 15 laps. When are you eyeing up a trip to pit road? Fuel capacity is around 70% tonight.
I mean, I would say you could take a set. If we're green the whole time, which I seriously doubt, you could take a set each time. There's no problem there. 6 is plenty. For that. Now, if we have cautions riddled through this, tires may become a factor depending on when you take them. Some guys will just stick to saying, hey, I'm taking them every 50 laps or so. So that might not be an issue. But with that limited fuel cell, I'm not quite sure what the fuel window is with that. So we'll see if we do get to green flag stops. The guys running the top lane might be cognizant of that. Most of the guys running the bottom lane should be okay. They're getting a good feel on how long they can go. But you see Buttafuoco right there jumping up to the top, and he's looking for maybe some clean air, some extra grip, something with the tires. But you see him get a little loose off of 4 there. But
that was dicey.
That very much was. So I'm not sure, Jacob. Oh, caution's out. We have a wreck.
Joseph Armstrong. Joseph Armstrong in the 020 is around in the front straightaway. And the caution's out for the first time tonight.
I said something. I did it.
Yep. Well, and that's going to put us in a window here to make pit stops under caution. Justin Melillo just fed us the number.
Yep.
Without saving about 45 to 48 laps, and it's contact between Armstrong and Cosman Yoneshu here off turn 4. Here's the replay.
Cosman get loose. Oh, he's really far off the wall. And that's one of the common things in oval racing that, if you're side by side with somebody off a corner, you're anticipating that driver. You saw the Buttafuoco save there for a second. But look at how far Cosman is off the wall if we can. I don't think Armstrong thought he would be that far off the wall, and he thought he could track out a little bit further, and Cosmo was just there and hooked him. So it's definitely a racing deal, I think, but definitely not. Well, watch how we're on board with Cosmo. Watch how far off the wall he is. He's probably like a full car width off the wall here, off the corner. Yeah, and Armstrong just thinks he has more room, and he just doesn't, and that's the result. So definitely a racing deal, I think, and Justin Melillo Race Control just confirmed it was a racing deal. So no penalties will be issued, but that's a tough break for Armstrong and Cosman for sure.
And it's time for pit stops.
Yep.
And everybody coming to pit road. They want to take advantage of 4 fresh tires, and that'll give them a 9 or so lap sprint to the end of stage number 1 here in Las Vegas. You got to take 4 here, right? It's stupid to take 2 tires here.
Oh, of course. This it just shows how important tires are in this race. The big indicator of that is Ryan Naraki is pitting on the first pit stop. He barely ever does that because he points races all the time. There you see him. Oh, he's never mind. He's going right back out. So I am yep. But everybody besides Ryan Naraki will take 4 tires here. And Chris Wetz appears to have stayed out as well. But Brian Mercurio is going to win the race off of pit road. And where did Malik come out of this?
Malik comes out.
He's still at his stall.
He hasn't come out. Yeah.
What is going on with Malik? He came in with the lead.
Is this a potty break?
I don't know. I mean, he's not championship racing right now. He's just racing for the fun of it. So I don't know. Maybe he's taking this opportunity to visit the lavatory or something.
Well, the field's in turn 4 right now. Chris Wetz is on the apron, so he's going to pit, which we pretty much expected. He does that a frequent amount here in FTF. So Naraki's off 4, and now Malik Ray is going.
There you go. He got back in time.
Yeah.
Had to have been a bathroom break, I think. There's no other way.
Yeah.
So he's good for the rest of the race, I think. So.
So Naraki.
Yeah.
Naraki's.
He does this every race, it seems, at one point.
Well, here's the thing with Naraki. He pitted, but drove through the pit lane. He did not take service.
Right.
So he stays out effectively and is still on the older tires. Oh, this is going to be dicey.
He just wants to get his lap led, I think. Just get something for leading laps.
Maybe.
With this. So he literally does it all the time. Justin can maybe elaborate better as to why he does it, but I don't know. He usually stays out and just tries to get to the stage, and then he'll just methodically slip through the field after the green comes out. So I don't know. We'll see if he pits here. I don't think he will, but we'll see. But it's one of those Ryan Naraki specials that we don't know what he's thinking sometimes, but there's a method to his madness. Is he coming down this time? He is. I guess he
Yes.
He wanted to get his laps led, so.
Yeah. It threw me because that's also the choose cone there.
Yes.
That V white line. Kevin King's mad.
Why is Kevin King upset?
He thought you weren't supposed to pit while choosing, which is what Naraki did. So I don't know if maybe he's going to get burned because the choose cone is before the 1 to green, not after. But yeah, black flag for Ryan Naraki on the restart. So
I'd like to know what the penalty for that is. If it's just an end of line penalty, then there's not going to affect him. He's back there anyway.
Black flag once we come to green, so he's going to have to come to pit road again under green. So,
oh man,
here's your choose cone graphic that beautifully put together by one Justin Malillo, and yeah, there you go. So that's where you're supposed to pit, on the left-hand side, below the white line, way down there, and he didn't do that, so he gets busted. Meanwhile, we're getting ready to come back to green. Botafuco on the inside. On the outside, it is
Brian Mercurio.
Yeah, it is Brian Mercurio. So here we go. Ready for the restart. Green flag.
Oh, wow. What a start by Mercurio on the outside. He's going to get away, clear everybody. So he chose the outside. They are 4 wide as we get lost in field.
Oh, there they go. Nyhoff up into Seth Noel, Rocky Boyd, Jonathan Oates. Caution flag is out. Cautions breed cautions, and 4 wide going into turn number 1 does not work, as Sander Nyhoff went down to block, and Lawson Peel then got turned. Here's the replay. Watch the 115, the red and black car, because he's the focal point of this. He blocks the 999 and then gets into the back of the 12, and then the 115 can't corral it. Gets hit by Seth Noel, and Noel, Boyd, and Oates get the worst of it here.
Take another look. That's Chase Schaefer in the 999. Just gets blocked down there. I'm not sure why you would block that. I mean, it's so early in the race. You don't need to be doing that. You'll fight another day with this, and stuff like that can happen if you're racing really hard for no reason. And Race Control has spoken. They put that wreck on the 115 of Sander Nyhoff. So on board with Jonathan Oates, and you'll just see there's nothing he could have done with this. He thinks everything's normal. He can't see anything, and then all of a sudden, it's not normal. So.
Well, and at that point, he's just trying to get by it on the outside and hope they can keep it down there long enough where they do come back up, it'll happen behind him. Instead, just nowhere to go for the 73. Sander Nyhoff has parked the car. He's done for the night. Brian Mercurio, your leader, will have a restart inside 5 laps to go in stage 1. We'll step aside. We're back after this in the Slipstream Signs Jackpot 300 from Las Vegas. Back here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Brian Mercurial. Ooh, who are you? Check. 1, 2.
That's two
Brian,
stumbles out of the brakes, Jacob.
Brian Mercurio is your race leader,
Unbelievable.
choosing this time. We'll get a restart with 3 to go in stage number 1. We are in the buffer zone, so if they crash again, that would then be the end of the stage. Jacob Pitts, Sean Butler here with you, Zach Johnson, our producer. I never actually introduced us at the top of the show, so that's who we are, even though
forgetting where we are and stumbling over everything.
Even though you know us because we've been doing this for a while, but getting ready for the restart after the crash on the opening lap of the last restart. A lot of playoff drivers up here. In fact, your top 5 are 5 playoff drivers. Mercurio, Buttafuoco, Wyatt Tinsley, Parker White, Daniel Falkingham. The only oddball in there, Omar Diallo. He's filling in tonight for Nate Stewart. The rest of your top 10 are playoff drivers. Frisch, Blake Reynolds, Kevin King, Brandon Hawken. So we have 12 playoff drivers. 9 of them are in the top 10.
And if you can't tell on the scoring pylon to your left, the playoff drivers in yellow, the non-playoff drivers in white. So those, if you want implications and you're curious to see what happens and who will get implications, just look for the yellow names. So that's Zach made it as easy as possible for everybody, and I guess I appreciate him for that when he's not yelling at everybody and throwing things.
There you have it.
Thank you, Zach.
3 laps to go. Brian Mercurio, Daniel Buttafuoco on the front row. We'll see what happens here on this restart. The last time around, Mercurio chose the outside. This time, he chooses the inside line. Pace car is in, and we are back to racing from Las Vegas.
Restart there for Mercurio. He's going to get clear. Let's see if they're more organized. They're already 3 wide. That is Michael Guest up there. Way up top in that white car back there. We knew he wouldn't be back there for very long, and he's making his way up through there. 4 wide.
Oh, look out!
Parker White.
Oh, they're wrecking. Oshalem gets turned. Malik Ray screaming over the radio. David Cabrera, Matthew Zwack, a playoff driver. Tyler Williams in that. Oh, Rocky Boyd gets in right at the very end. Chase Schaefer in the 999. Jonathan Goke involved. Boyd has parked the car already. And stage 1 is over with a 2-part act. Parker White getting sideways and then mid-pack flying apart. Again, playoff driver implications in there with Matthew Zwack, who is already below the cut line coming into tonight's race by 37 points. There's part 1. And then you'll see part 2 roll in here from the left side of your screen. It's already underway there. And here's Rocky Boyd, who almost has it missed, stays up against the wall. And here comes David Cabrera not holding the brake.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
What started this? So we saw there was no
Oshalem.
contact. There was no contact between Parker White and Buttafuoco here. It looks like Parker just got loose or maybe just got pinched too low by Buttafuoco. And Michael Guest was in the wall.
There it is. They're 4 wide off turn 2, Sean. And Oshalem came up not knowing they were 4 wide, and he gets hooked. And the penalty is on Oshalem. He gets a drive-through penalty because of wreck score. Watch this. They're going to stack up here with the 45 of Gary.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, staggered 4 wide, and Goke had nowhere to go. Look at that. Was that Pandicio sliding right on through that?
Yep. Zwack just pounded right into that wreck. That's going to be very detrimental for him.
He had a meatball. It just got cleared. So bad news there for the driver of the 7. He's going to need a stellar week next week.
On board with him now. There it is happening in front. And then, yep, just Cabrera gets hit up into him. Nothing he could do, and he's just along for the ride from that point. It's crazy right there because you were talking about Ryan Pandicio sliding through there. He and Zwack were side by side off the corner as the wreck happened. One of them made it through, the other one didn't. So that's just racing for you with these. Here's the Parker White slide again, and then here we go jumping back to the wreck. There's the hook front of Oshalem, and there's Pandicio just cutting right through it. And the guy he was side by side with, not even in frame. So that is That is tough, and we have some pit stops happening. It looks like Michael Frisch is coming down. So, interesting call there. Not sure what this is about. Maybe a fuel strategy call, or Kosman's in. Not sure why these guys are pitting right now, Jacob. We haven't gone a full green flag lap since we came down last. So this is a puzzling call.
And it's a 10.1 second stop for Frisch, and he will take fuel only for that 58.
Nate Stewart is in the chat watching college football. That's why he's not here.
Yeah, Kentucky is playing sports right now.
Yep.
So they are up over Mizzou 21-20 right now. Caleb Williams is apparently terrible at the game of football.
Wow.
He has thrown 3 interceptions tonight and no touchdowns. They are down to Notre Dame, which is a bad football team, 31-13.
Throwing 3
other
interceptions
games
will not help you win football games. Last time I checked.
The Pac-12 is a joke. Washington State is down to Arizona, 44-6. Ranked number 19th, no longer. We'll be seeing you, Wazoo. UNC's up over Miami. That's a given, 21-17. That's pretty close. LSU is beating the crap out of Auburn. Pitt right now upsetting Louisville, 38-21 with 3 minutes to go. That game's over. So, we'll be seeing you.
Alabama won today. I was not happy about that whatsoever.
Yeah, close game, though, 24-21 against Arkansas. Penn State used UMass as their own personal punching bag today, 63-zip.
Ugh.
So far, out of all of the ranked schools, that is the lone game that has resulted in a shutout. Penn State gets a big test next week, though, at Columbus in the Horseshoe against Ohio State. Likely number 3 versus number 6, because I doubt Penn State will go up, and Ohio State's not going to move. So,
nope.
Even though Georgia... Your top 3 are not the top 3 teams in the country. Georgia's not the top team in the country. Michigan, I don't think they're the second best team in the country. They haven't played anybody yet. And Ohio State is not the third best team in the country. So, who is number 4? Oh, Florida State. They might be the closest thing.
By the way, we're green again.
Yeah. Back to green.
Thank you for your insights, Jacob.
Yeah, that's your college football analysis. But, yeah, here we go. Back to turn number 1, side by side there for second between Buttafuoco and Falkingham. The two Daniels going at it.
Oh, they are. I'm watching Malik Ray back here, as you guys are right now, and he is making moves. Again, he was dead last 2 restarts ago after taking what we presumed is a bathroom break. Another caution.
Turn 3. David L. Brown is in that. Oh, look out. Art Reimer.
Oh.
Zabelski, Kosman, and Zach Hudson.
Man.
And I think now we're in single file restart territory. It's all started with the 999 of Chase Schaefer, and that thing was reckoned before he even got to turn 3. I don't know what happened.
Let's see.
To the 999.
Oh,
but,
wow.
he was sideways on turn-in, and then nowhere to go. And then all these guys just compiling on in on the brakes. There's Art Reimer and then Zabelski.
I've had that happen to me in these cars before. I think it's a bottoming out issue or something, because they tend to do that. At this track, too, I think it happened to me in the same corner. And once it starts looping on you, it's so hard to corral them. David, nowhere to go. Seth Knoll, nowhere to go. A couple Nexus drivers just get beaten up in that wreck. Cosman, another one. So Nexus Esports not happy about that wreck there. That took out 3 of their guys. And there you see on board with Cosman. See what he sees. The wreck happens way far ahead. Dare we say, is this a plow? There, it's happening. It's
He's
still
got so
happening.
much time to slow down.
Yeah.
He missed it. Now the guys in front of him did not,
Right.
and that's plow territory. But
That is.
yeah.
So
Cosman's a wheelman.
he got around him. My apologies, Cosman. I didn't mean to falsely accuse you of that, but Jake Poulin, race official, says this is the last chance before we go to single file. And for those of you who are new to watching an FTF Cup Series broadcast, single file means you guys stink. You're crashing too much. We're going single file, and I think it's going to happen, Jacob. These guys have just been unhinged on these last 3 restarts.
Yeah,
Michael Guest asks, how many laps do we need to not go single file? Well,
I think it's 3.
At least make a lap. I mean, we haven't made a lap in 3 restarts.
Right. Our last green flag lap was lap 37.
Yep. We're on lap 56. So
Yeah.
we're approaching 20 laps without a single full green flag lap. So if I was race control, I'd be like, 3 strikes, you guys are out. We're going single file, but they're being lenient. So they'll give them one more chance. But
the reason they're being lenient is because this car sucks, and if
Yep.
they go single file, nobody will be able to pass for the rest of the night. So
Yep.
they're giving the drivers one last chance. Hey, if you don't want the race to suck, stop crashing.
further
Give it a
solidifying
couple laps.
why the 87 cars are the best oval cars on the service. I will stand by that for a long time until this car proves me wrong. And it has yet to, Jacob. It has yet to prove me wrong. I'm pounding my desk.
It's frustration.
Just to show the emphasis of my words there. So.
Well, and I'll tell you this. I would very much enjoy... Now, I don't know if the service has ruined them yet, but I would very much enjoy not next gens. That's what we're doing now. The Gen 4.
Yeah, they need a better aero package on those cars. But they're fun. They take a lot more skill to drive, I think, than these.
Right.
But when the aero package on that car gets fixed, it's going to be fantastic, I think. If it gets a super speedway package, which iRacing, come on. You have Dale Jr. as a resource, and he has cars everywhere that you could scan from that era, and super speedway cars. Come on. The oval community is due for some damn updates. That's all I got to say about that, Jacob. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use this platform as a means to vent frustration with the service. We love the service. We want it to be good.
And with GNS, you know, if you don't want to use the Xfinity car, you have the option then of, okay, let's use the ARCA car then, since it's basically a less horsepower version of the Gen 4.
Yep. The Xfinity car is, yeah, I could go into a whole rant about that too, but
yeah,
you know, we're here.
It offers the best racing in real life and the worst racing on the sim.
Correct. Yes. I just wish the
Cup. I don't understand it.
I just wish Cup Series ran very powerful Xfinity cars and called it a day. You know, because they did that years ago. I don't know. So that's just me, Jacob. We're going back racing. I'm going to shut up.
That we are. It's still Mercurio and I know who you are, Buttafuoco, not Falkingham, side by side. We did have some more people pit under that last caution flag there at the back of the field. You have about 18 cars that stayed out. 13 of them have not pitted under the last 2 cautions. We're back to green. Mercurio's gone. They're side by side, second on back.
And I've got my eyes firmly planted on that white 9 car of Michael Guest. Again, if you're just joining us, he started literally dead last, numerous seconds back. He gets into the back of Nick Miller, and he has to check up Lawson Peel there. And that's going to open the door for Alex Kolnick's back there. He gets loose off of turn 4, and we've made it a lap, Jacob, off a restart.
Hallelujah. It's happened. Meanwhile, side by side for fourth, here comes Kevin King to the inside of Omar Diallo. Diallo going to use the outside line, take over the spot. That's Sebastian Marin in there. He just got eliminated from the playoffs, and here comes Guest, turning it hard to the left, going 3 wide underneath Nick Miller and Joseph Armstrong, the 19 and the 20. They look like 2 Gibbs cars side by side.
Yeah, Joseph Armstrong brought out our first caution, too, so good to see him with a nice recovery in the top 10. He's getting pushed by Lawson Peel right now. But we're at the point, I think, Jacob, where the middle lane is going to be your lane where you can pass and fend people off. It's so tough at this racetrack to pass people on the bottom. You see Kevin King diving underneath Sebastian Marin in the 48 car, 3 wide down the back stretch. He's going to bring Guest with him. Nick Miller's going to go right up against the wall. Hamilton Akaboise, our pole sitter, sitting there in the middle. And they're still racing hard. So I like to see it. You know, the first run of the race was really good. We had racing everywhere. It was clean. And we had our moments. But now, hopefully, we're going to get a good long run. I say that. Alex Kolonix runs over Sebastian Marin. So I don't know. I'm going to stop talking stuff into existence.
Sean the Jinx Butler, meanwhile, down the back straightaway.
Twice.
Oh, internet warning for Jordan Worth. And he's as surprised as we are. 3 wide here.
Nick Miller!
Nick Miller! Mowing the wall down. And he's going to lose a half dozen spots.
Yep, not what he wants to see there. So we're back to...
Oh, man, Chris Wetz. That thing slid up the hill and about finished Nick Miller off.
3 wide just ahead. Alex Kolonix diving underneath Sebastian Marin. Look at Omar Diallo up there in the middle lane. He's got shot out of a cannon. He went from 5th to side by side for 2nd. Nate Stewart watching college football, watching his car drive up to the front here. Look at him go. To the lead, Omar Diallo.
First start of the season. Literally paid his dues an hour before the session went up, and here he is, filling in for Nate Stewart, trying to bring the Ford to victory lane. He is taking away the top spot, trying to play playoff spoiler tonight.
Justin Melillo has redeemed channel points for an Art Reimer update, so Art is sitting in the 37th position right now with significant front-end damage. There he is. And he's got a challenge from, I don't know who that is behind him. But
Sabelski in
that's
the 85.
Brian Sabelski. So there is your Art Reimer update that Justin Melillo spent channel points on. Meanwhile, up at the front, Michael Guest has overtaken Brian Mercurio for 2nd. So, Jake, it looks like we got a couple guys just saying, screw it, I'm going to go hard at the start of this run to get some track position. And you got guys like Brian Mercurio maybe take it a little easier on the tires, wanting to be there later in the run.
See Kevin King there in that middle line leading the charge. And it feels like a super speedway race, doesn't it? The way they're just slotted in line right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is good stuff. I'm liking this. It's on board with Wyatt Tinsley. You see just how, well, I was going to say how much better that middle lane was, but then Armstrong got really tight. The Armstrong is getting pushed right now by Alex Kolonix. Lifted the rear tires off. We're on board with Malik Ray. This is a good guy to be on board with. And in this situation, he makes some pretty big, meaty moves, as our buddy Travis Brown likes to say. He's going to split the difference 3 wide here. Just in front of them, Kevin King is getting pushed by Buttafuoco off of turn 2. And here comes Malik diving underneath Wyatt Tinsley 3 wide.
Oh, that's not going to work.
Wow.
Oh, Wyatt Tinsley and Kolonix made contact there. Kolonix hits the wall. Tinsley gave him plenty of room, so Kolonix was just scared and washed up into it. He'll lose the 2 spots. Now he'll lose a 3rd, and he might lose more as here comes Armstrong looking to the inside to turn 1.
See, this is what I was looking for in the midst of our first caution. After this, I was, all right, the field's bunched up again. We're going to get more of this, and they just kept wrecking. So this is what we get when everyone races clean but aggressive, and this has been fantastic to watch from start to finish, really. And we got side-by-side from literally 4th on back, so we got a big pack of cars here. Everyone behind them is kind of taking it easy right now with a seat to all this racing. But yeah, you're right, Jacob. This is very, very reminiscent of super speedway racing. Look at that. It's just a pack. It's a big pack.
Yeah. And you will not see this tomorrow.
No, this will not be how the real thing is.
Yeah.
Shout out
Otherwise,
to-
Dale Jr. may have a heart attack by lap 30 if this is what they have tomorrow. Look at this shot from the blimp.
The FTF airship, as we, I guess, can coin it. Look at Sebastian Mayer going 3 wide in the middle. That's going to be very close. I think, who is that? That's Chase Durheim in that light Carolina blue and black number 010, or just number 10. I haven't said his name yet. And how about Ryan DeRocchi is up there? We saw him with his crazy strategy in the pits. Last caution, he's mixing it up here. He's in the top 20. As Wyatt Tinsley nearly hits the wall. There's so much going on right now in this pack, and I love it. And I really hope that they can keep this up throughout the race, because this is really good to watch.
Well, and Tinsley got chased up the hill there by Lawson Peel on the inside. He washed up. That caused the 20 to wash up as well, and it almost got him in trouble. Michael Guest, your leader. Diallo now under fire for second. Here comes the 13 of Daniel Botafuco around the outside. Kevin King on the bottom. He's now in fourth, and they're still 2 and 3 wide behind him.
Oh, and we're going to see Botafuco cross him over. If we saw these guys battling side by side for literally felt like 20 laps at Charlotte earlier in the year in a similar type of track. We're going to see it again. Botafuco to the inside, Guest to the outside, Diallo just with a front row seat there. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, Jacob, with trying to pass going on the bottom. It's so much bumpier in 1 and 2 than that middle lane is. And I don't want to say it's impossible to pass in the bottom in 1 and 2. It's just significantly tougher to do because of the smoothness differences in both of those lanes. So if Botafuco wants to get by Guest, he's going to have to find a way to get to his outside to try to do it. Otherwise, he's going to be just banging his head against the steering wheel trying to figure out how to get by him on the bottom there. But he's going to fall in line, and we're seeing this group, again, just starting to form. Malik Ray, not afraid to take it 3 wide. He dives underneath Brian Mercurio, and Wyatt Tinsley goes to the very top. Lawson Peel up there as well.
Plenty of room there, and Mercurio, remember, he was out in front. And now he is stuck mid-pack here. 7th spot, 3 wide in the middle. Not a lot of help out back. And he's going to lose both spots here.
Oh, my goodness. Malik, oh, you're not clear on Lawson Peel there. He somehow made that work.
I mean, the stuff he does with a race car, it is unbelievable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You're right outside the window net.
Cameras all over this car for good reason.
And he almost saw into the passenger window there of the 20 of Wyatt Tinsley.
See Omar Diallo just in there running the middle line ahead of him. Passes Wyatt there, takes advantage of the air. Can't really get the clearance he needs, and Tinsley's going to go back to the bottom. I dare say this is great camera work by producer Zach Johnson. That pains me to say after the threats he's made against us in this broadcast alone.
Now he's going to zoom in and make everything out of focus. Be careful. Careful what you wish for.
He says this is the Butler cam now, so I appreciate that. Wonder why he calls it that.
Out the back of the 007 car.
Oh, man.
Hello. Hello, Botafuco.
Let's say the Butler cam is whoever's wrecking at a race that Zach is broadcasting, because it happens so much. Malik going to the outside of Kevin King, making that work. So he's just cutting his way through the field after another guy who just came from the back of the field after taking his rumored bathroom break on the first caution. So only a matter of time before the 007 was back up in the top 3.
Oh, one car got loose. Kolonix saved it mid-pack. Stacked everybody else up, though. Here comes Kevin King looking to the inside. And right at the top of your picture, you see the stack up that's been caused there mid-pack. It's getting busy.
It definitely is. So they're starting to kind of calm down at the front of the field, but behind Blake Reynolds and Daniel Falkingham, they are not. Alex Kolonix, Ryan DeRocchi side by side. Falkingham are going to go to the outside of Blake Reynolds. This is for 12th. Who else is up there? We got Naraki, Chase Durheim, Joseph Armstrong, Sebastian Marin, Jordan Worth, Nick Miller up there. So this is everyone up at the front, like I said, starting to single file out, but these guys still want to race.
closing in on 20 to go here in stage number 2. Again, stage 2 ends at lap 100. And that is the halfway point in the race.
Joseph Armstrong wrecked earlier. Said, screw it, I'm diving underneath everybody 3 wide on the apron on the front stretch. How bad, I don't want to say how bad memories, but how quick drivers forget their troubles in races. I wish I could be one of them. On board with Kevin McAdams looking ahead to these guys. Now they're starting a race a little bit further ahead. Jordan Worth, Ryan Araki side by side, Collinix, Nick Miller. So I think we're starting to see the comers and the goers now, Jacob. We saw guys trying to keep the tires on the cars. Brian Mercurio is one of the guys that comes to mind that was getting kind of swallowed up in the early part of this run. But now you see the guys taking care of their stuff, starting to make their way through the field. Kevin McAdams, one of them, slowly easing up on this group. He's going to look to make his way by. Dives underneath Armstrong. He's going to look to the inside in 3. Frisch is following him through. So definitely seeing the guys who took care of their stuff getting to where they need to be at the end of this run. What in the world was Ryan Naraki doing there? He just turned right off of turn 4 there for a second and almost looked like he was making a beeline for the wall. That concerned me a bit.
So Michael Guest, your leader. Omar Diallo in second. He's about 3/10 back. At the front of the field is where things have calmed down. It's mid-pack where business is picking up right around the Chase Durheim machine and Blake Reynolds. 13th on back right here.
I almost just want to sit back and watch what these guys are all doing. We've said the racing side by side, the battles have been fantastic all race long. On board looking under or on top of the Davey Davis mowing machine of Jordan Worth. He's currently
behind the competition.
Good one, Jacob. Oh, Ryan Araki just behind him almost hooked himself off the nose of Joseph Armstrong. There's Chris Wetz in the Dave Marcus-inspired Mustang.
Dave.
Yep.
Oh, Armstrong way up the hill. That pushes Naraki wide, and it's going to cost him 2 spots.
Here comes Kevin. Teammates, Frisch on the bottom there. We've seen this place is all about momentum, and you get in trouble, you get loose, you lose your momentum, you see how far back you're going to slide. And case in point right there. Looks like they keep it going, and still McAdams and Frisch side by side. Matt Spalding back there in the Puffer Zone Racing Network machine. Haven't mentioned him all that much tonight. He's right there in this battle with Naraki as well. There he is. There's Matt. Fairfield, Connecticut. He calls himself Matt Basketball now, but Spalding is not the official ball of the NBA anymore, so he's got to change that. Oh boy, who is that behind him?
It's Tyler Gary.
Tyler Gary, 2021 series champion Tyler Gary. And Coke driver, I might add, another one in the field.
One of several. Jonathan Oshalem, what happened to him?
What happened
Way
there?
off the pace. Yeah, I looked over to timing and scoring, and he was down in the 120s on speed. He did a little lawn mowing on the front straightaway, got loose off turn number 4 and couldn't save it, and didn't want to kill the field. And we're going to need a replay of that because he does a great job of keeping that thing pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, let's see.
Take a look at this.
It's going to be one of these lazy, loose spins. No contact there. He's going to get air time right here. And
woo!
That thing is bucking. He's going to keep it going, though. So great piece of driving there by Oshalem. He's not going to like the result, that is, but he lives to fight another day in this event. So there's Nick Miller. We go back up towards the front, side by side with Blake Reynolds. He stays clear of him. That's for 13th, just ahead of them. Parker White, Brandon Hawkins side by side. That's for 11th. So these guys starting to kind of bunch back up now, Jacob. The run getting a little bit longer. Tires are getting a little bit older. And we're seeing just who has enough rubber to get to the finish line of this run. And I'm kind of impressed by Nick Miller there. He's He had a little bit of trouble in that first run, first half of the race, but he's showing a lot of speed in this second long run.
Caleb Williams led USC down the field for a touchdown. They missed the extra point.
Here we
or
go.
They went for 2, I'm not sure which. On the ensuing kickoff, Notre Dame takes it to the house.
That game's
Incredible.
over. That game is
That
done.
game is over. And I don't want to see or hear about Caleb Williams the rest of the season. I don't care. I do not care. Caution. Chase Durheim in the 10. No, not him.
It was him.
Yes, it was him.
And Tyler
But
Gary.
he's- But that was an early trigger on the button here. When you
Jake-
see the replay,
Jake
because they
Coolin.
saved it.
Lucas Plus will
Watch
look
this.
away if you don't
Yeah.
want to see your car in more trouble. But
This is Durheim
Garrity,
and Tyler Gary.
Durheim maybe just turned in a little too early and maybe hooked himself, or Gary turned in too late.
Can we get
I
a
don't
shot
know.
from high above? Because that angle's not going to show us anything. As far as who turned in where.
Yeah,
Got to get one from high above.
From that angle, it looked like maybe Durheim maybe turned in early. There. Oh.
Here we go.
Okay. There we go.
Computer enhance. Here we go. Survey says.
Do we dare we say
Little
net code?
code. Yeah,
forbidden word.
little net code. One came down, one came up, I think, there as well. So I think that's a two-parter where they came together, but there was net code. And the admins say it was on the 45, and Tyler Gary says, "Are you sure?" Meanwhile, pits are open, and everybody's taking the chance to come onto pit road here. And just like the end of stage 1, Sean, we're going to end stage 2 with a restart inside 10 laps to go.
And
And
only,
hopefully not 3 restarts.
That only boosts the ratings as far as we could tell. It's also going to boost the caution count again. Everybody pits this time. No shenanigans with people staying out. So Michael Guest comes in first, goes out first. Omar Diallo is going to come out second. Wyatt Tinsley, Buttafuoco, Kevin King, Lawson Peel, Daniel Falkingham, Brian Mercurio, Parker White, Hamilton Akaboise, your top 10. So not very many shakeups at the front of the field. Now we got some explanation from race control Jake Poulin. He said it was a safety yellow on the 45. It was netcode, but you got very close. Also warned for lag, he was telling Tyler Gary in the race chat. So that is the update that we can provide on the reasoning for that yellow.
Well, and they added this rule a couple of weeks ago involving cautions, because there were a lot of cautions that were being caused by netcode. And they said, all right, look, if you run the risk of running so close to each other, you're going to get called for it if netcode occurs. So that's what happened there. Gets called on the 45. He'll go to the start of the field. On this day in 2022, the year of our Lord, the Philadelphia Phillies lit up Spencer Strider like a Christmas tree, and Reese Hoskins slammed the hell out of a baseball bat. There you go.
As much as I hate the Phillies, I love watching the Braves get annihilated. So that was very fun to watch this year and last year. So
Yes, 2 years in the same series.
I just wish the Mets can do it one year, but they'll put it all together eventually in the next 2, 3, 30 years. And who knows?
Do you have a manager yet?
Nope.
Do you want Rob Thompson?
Nope.
Good.
I don't know. I still don't know why Buck got fired, but we'll see.
Did he get fired, or did he quit?
He probably did. He was probably told to resign because firing him would look bad on the team. So
After being named skipper of the year, to turn around and then leave?
it's like
Tough.
It's like in the NBA when Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year. Well, he got fired, but then won Coach of the Year, like immediately after he got fired. Like 2 days after they fired him, he won Coach of the Year. So figure that one out.
Oh, boy.
Sports.
I don't even want to look at the number of Philadelphia Phillies that are free agents after this year. I already know Reese Hoskins is one and Aaron Nola is another. I'm hesitant to say re-sign either of them. So,
How much money do they have left to give out, Jacob?
well, considering I didn't think they had any to give out and they signed Trey Turner to $1 billion deal, I think they're just printing money at this point. So, you got to do what you got to do. Outside of pitching, starting pitching specifically, I don't know if they really need any help. First baseman would be cool, but if you're just going to keep Bryce Harper there, then you don't need him. Kyle Schwarber's your DH because
Kyle Schwarber can be a catcher too.
No,
He played catcher back in the day.
Yeah, I know, but with his snail-like reflexes, no way, not a chance.
Wow.
He's already a liability out in left field. I'm so glad that they're keeping him out of left field and putting Marsh out there and occasionally Pache. Let's keep it that way. Johan Rojas is the starting center fielder. There's no doubt about it. And we'll see what happens against the Diamondbacks. I am cautiously optimistic, like I was up against the Marlins, like I was up against the Braves. I'm going to say Phillies in 5.
Wow. Cautiously optimistic, he says.
Just got to take 2 out west. Remember, the series starts in Philly on Monday. Green flag, 8 laps to go. Michael Guest takes the lead. Here we go to turn 1.
8 laps to go in stage 2. Clarification for those of you just joining us. We're still about to hit halfway. But the field has avoided the single file so far, but judging by the looks of this pack now, it's not going to be very long. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley to the inside of Guest, and it's no contest with the way Guest is running the middle of there. And look at Buttafuoco splitting Diallo, and I think that's Parker White up there too. They're almost coming together on the front stretch.
Nick Miller about killed the whole field. He sent somebody to the back of the pack there on the outside line. That was, I think, Matt Spalding. That he had nowhere to go, and instead of wrecking, he decided, all right, I'm just going to take the L. Here comes Buttafuoco peeking out of line, and now here comes Falkingham looking for second.
Daniel Falkingham with a great run in that Interstate Batteries Toyota, looking for the lead off of 4, get some good momentum. Doesn't quite have the fender on Guest. Guest clears himself there side by side for second. Looked like Falkingham got a little dirty air there on the front stretch. And Guest running that middle lane is going to be so tough to pass here. We're coming up to 5 laps to go in stage 2, and they are 4 wide off of 2 back there. But right now our focus remains up at the top 10, multiple side-by-side battles with points implications at the front.
And there are plenty of guys that need the stage points, like the 9 of Michael Guest and the 20 of Wyatt Tinsley. Remember, Tinsley did not race last week. He had to take a last place provisional, so he is at the bottom, 77 points back on the cut line. And Michael Guest, 64 points back. So these are 2 guys that really could use this stage win and the stage points that go with it. They're going to have to duke it out for the next 4 laps.
A great 1 and 2 for Wyatt Tinsley. Here comes Parker White going way up to the wall in 3 and 4. We saw drivers use this as a short run alternative. Falkingham almost didn't realize he was there. Almost turned himself off of the front bumper of Parker White, but does a good job. Parker's going to let him back in line there. But we're going to see who has it and who doesn't at the front of the field here. Michael Guest, we've seen him dominant in FTF competition. Had a Coke win this year. Had a really good year on the sim. Looking to keep that momentum going in FTF for the championship. And like we said, Jacob, single file up at the front of the field here for the top 10. As we come down, we're coming down to 3 laps to go here in stage 2. A little further back, looks like Brian Mercurio trying to make an outside move on Lawson Peel to get himself into 9th. So they're starting to shuffle a little bit here towards the front.
3 laps to go. Remember, Wyatt Tinsley was 1 spot short of winning the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series Championship at Phoenix last year. Just needed to beat Kevin King and could not do it. Jonathan Oates says he's pitting. That's a decision. We're coming to 2 to go here in the stage. And Wyatt Tinsley is struggling here to keep up with the pace that Michael Guest has. Guest, as long as he doesn't completely burn his stuff up, he might have this in the bag. Falkingham looking on P2. Wyatt Tinsley drifts to the outside and shuts the door.
And look at Daniel Buttafuoco trying to work the bottom there. Just doesn't have the momentum off of turn 2 to clear Kevin King and Parker White. Wyatt Tinsley going to try to mix the lines up. Guest is going to take away his line. He's going to get a nice run, though, off of turn number 4. We're going to see if he can get to the outside of Guest. Guest takes the apron on the front stretch. White's going to have some momentum. and it looks like Wyatt Tinsley not going to be able to get to the outside of Michael Guest, and I think he's trying to keep that inside line to itself. I don't think he wants to try to pass Guest there at all. He knows he won't be able to get it done. So Parker White back there, Falkingham, Tinsley, they're going to need to find a way, a different route to get by Guest. Guest gets a little loose off of 4. Here comes Tinsley to the inside.
At the line for the stage, it's Guest by half a car length over Wyatt Tinsley. He gave it everything he had. Now Guest pulls over, gets out of the way. Wyatt Tinsley takes the lead, but he does not pick up the stage win. It goes to number 9.
Wow. That was a great setup by Wyatt Tinsley to try to get the run off of 4. He nearly got it. If the start-finish line was where it is at Talladega, he might have got it, but it isn't. So that's going to reset this little run at the front of the field here. Guest looked like he was going to take us a break from leading and maybe cool his stuff off, but he says, I want to get the lead back and use that clean air. I got a little bit of dirty air that time. I'm not going to get more of it, so he goes back to the front. He's going to look to bring Falkingham with him off of 2.
You're at the halfway point, 100 down, 100 to go. Well, a little less than that.
Yep.
But you get the point now. We were at that point.
We round up here at FTF. So
yes, we round up until we round down. You know how it works.
Sure.
98 to go. Buttafuoco side by side here with Kevin King. That's for the 5th spot. Parker White drifting up, trying to get by Wyatt Tinsley. And I wonder if Wyatt maybe burned his stuff up just a little bit more, fighting for that stage win.
He was in that dirty air a lot. And look at this move by Parker White. He got shoved by Buttafuoco down the backstretch. And he tries to clear himself. A little slide job on Wyatt Tinsley there. He's going to get it done. Here comes Kevin King to the inside of Tinsley. So I think you might be right, Jacob. Tinsley maybe tried to go a little too hard in that run to secure the stage win, and he might be starting to pay for it now.
Kevin King right on the inside. He ran up over with Buttafuoco. Omar Diallo right behind him. They make their way down the backstretch. Kevin King, party of 1 down at the bottom of the racetrack. Everybody else toward that outside wall.
Speaking of outside wall, there's Omar Diallo. If we get it on board with him, I want to see just how close he is to the wall next time in 3 and 4. Still, we're on board with Omar now. He's going to use the middle in 1 and 2 as he's been doing, but I'm curious to see if he doesn't get the run on Buttafuoco, if he uses the wall in 3 and 4 here. So down the Nellis straightaway, I don't think it's ever been called that in anything. He's going to use the bottom, so I think he's realized that the top isn't quite there yet, and going to keep himself at the bottom. Meanwhile, just up ahead of him, Kevin King slides up in front of Wyatt Tinsley, and I'm really happy these guys are racing this way up at the front. This race has been exciting from start to finish with these guys slicing and dicing their way. They've been close all race. And I dare I say again, props to Kevin McAdams for making this setup not as dirty air, I guess, dependent. You could still race behind people without just getting dirty air just killing you. So good job by Kevin this week on this setup. Very exciting race so far.
Well, and the lap time difference between here and real life is absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
If I can find, if the NASCAR website could be any harder to navigate, and I could find the starting lineup for, here we go. Thank you. Qualifying. Can the site load, please?
Really need to work on that, I think.
Qualifying. Here we go. The pole time for Christopher Bell was a 28.98 as far as lap time. The pole time for us tonight, a 30.713. So 2 seconds off what they're running in real life. Now, it was cooler today in the real world. It's going to be hotter tomorrow toward 90 degrees. So the temperature will cause the times to change a little bit, the speed, but still 2 seconds off. So this is very different from what we'll see tomorrow. Meanwhile, Michael Guest is still your leader. 93 laps to go, coming to 92 to go. Here from Las Vegas, we step aside. We're back after this, here on FTF. Back from Las Vegas, the Slipstream Signs Jackpot 300. We're in stage 3. Field getting by some lap traffic here, coming off turn 2. Oh, man! Parker White slaps the wall, and he gets into Kevin King. Kevin King, they're 4 wide into turn number 3. All playoff drivers except for Malik Ray. That was chaos down the back straightaway. Art Reimer told the field he was going high, and instead of going around him, they about crashed trying to avoid him.
They tried to go through him for some reason. I mean, Art told him where to go, and that happened. So while we were in break, you saw some fantastic racing for the lead, and they have not stopped since we went to break. So we saw that incident with Parker White. Kevin King is getting freight trained on the backstretch. Everyone's running all different lines. This is some fantastic stuff as we see Daniel Botafuco all the way up towards the wall. So pretty much, I think this is the front 12 cars here, all under a blanket from Michael Guest to Jordan Worth. The gap is less than a second. So this is something right now, Jacob. I don't think I've said this enough, but what a race.
Props to Malik Ray for coming over the radio, and I mean screaming, 4, 4, 4, coming down into turn number 3. He saw the trouble that was coming up in front of him, and wanted to let the drivers around him know that, hey, we're not going to get out the other side if we don't get our acts together here. And somehow, some way, they all made it in one piece. Kevin King got the fuzzy end of the lollipop there. He falls down to 8th spot. He was fighting for the lead just 3 laps ago.
Oh boy, that was an interesting way to put it, Jacob, but I guess it sends the message. But these guys have not stopped racing since this restart. Wyatt Tinsley looking 3 wide on board with Daniel Botafuco. He doesn't know where to go right now. He's going to push Wyatt Tinsley through the tri-oval, the quad oval, whatever you want to call it, into turn 1. Everyone pretty much electing to run that middle, like halfway off the bottom in the middle seam right there. I think that's the faster way around right now, as everyone's starting to realize that. As we head down the back straightaway, that's where the draft is, and you see people starting to push by everybody. Falkenham throws it into turn 3 to try to stay alongside of Botafuco, but it is just nuts right now at the front of the field. These guys doing a great job of racing hard, but racing clean.
And we are a little over halfway through this fuel run. So we're likely going to see these guys on pit road in the next 20 laps.
Omar got loose.
Oh, boy. And you've got almost everybody lined up on the outside.
Oh, boy.
That could have been disastrous coming off turn 2. Great save from Diallo, though. And a good job from Malik Ray from not just punting him. Oh, Parker White all over the place off turn 4.
And here comes Botafuco to the outside, Falkingham to the inside. Oh!
Oh, the touch! Teammates! Again, they save it. Unbelievable.
What in the world is happening at the front of the field right now? Jordan Worth had to check up there. He would have ran over Falkingham. That got way too tight, way too hairy. I have no idea how they didn't just all wad him up there. That is some intense driving there. And we stay green. We're somehow still going.
The playoff implications that could have caused right there.
Why can't this be the season finale, Jacob? Imagine a race for the championship like this. That would be insane.
We're going to need to... Diallo again loose off turn 2. And he's going to get freight train now going into 3.
I think the tires might be done on Diallo's car. We saw him running the wall earlier. We were talking about David Cabrera doing that at the start of the race, and we saw how much his tires suffered for that. I think Omar might be going through the same thing. He's loose in the quad oval. Everybody is going around him on the outside now. He's fighting back on the bottom, but that 4 car is fighting very, very damaged tires. He's just hanging on at this point.
And it would not be great to pit here. The only reason you really want to pit is maybe split the distance in half. We've got 80 to go. You're only going to make like 48 laps without saving on fuel. So you split it there. But right now, the way these guys are running, we are looking at a 2-stop race. You see Ryan O'Rocky come onto pit road.
one of these crazy Naraki strategies. He's going to lose a lap for sure, but he is going to look like a rocket ship. As Malik Ray is yelling at Wyatt Tinsley right now after he's passing him. He's like, you're going to really do that after just a bad corner. But that's all it takes. We were talking about momentum earlier, and that's all it takes for someone to kind of just lose all their momentum and have to gain it back. So that is not what Malik wanted to see, but that allows Michael Guest to move a little further ahead.
And look, Wyatt Tinsley's a playoff guy. He wants every spot he can just in case. So he's not going to bat an eye. If he sees real estate, he's going to take it, especially when he is the last car right now in the playoff grid. We can show you the points one more time coming into tonight. How it looked. Parker White with the win last week. He's locked in. Then Blake Reynolds, Daniel Falkingham, Daniel Botafuco, Hawk and Mercurio, Frisch, Kevin King, 37 points above the cut line tonight. Matthews Whack crashed. He is currently 23rd. So it's not looking good for him. Then you've got Michael Guest. He's currently your race leader. Kevin McAdams, he right now is in 20th. And Wyatt Tinsley, who is sitting in the second spot. So a mixed bag from the folks outside of the top 8 between running up at the front and running mid-pack, which is not where they want to be.
And definitely not what these guys want to be doing at the front now. Brian Mercurio side by side with Botafuco, that's only going to hurt them. Lawson Peel announces he's pitting, so dare we say we might have some green flag stops starting. Peel ducks himself into pit road, so an early strategy call. So is the pit window open, or is this a bold strategy call for Lawson? We'll see who follows suit with that, but right now the front of the field still solidified. Guests holding strong at the lead. Tinsley, Malik, Botafuco, Mercurio, Kevin King, Omar Diallo, Jordan Worth, Parker White, Frisch, your top 10. So Josh Chitt announces he's pitting, so we're seeing the first couple of drivers starting to duck into pit road.
Jack Mace doing the same as well. Now they're in the back of the field. I still think it's a little early for these guys up at the front of the field to come onto pit road. They were last on pit road 37 laps ago. They could make it as far as 10 more laps. If they're saving fuel at all, they could make it probably another 12 or more laps. But from this point, there is no way you can save enough now to make it on one more pit stop to the end. You're going to have to pit 2 more times. The question is, do you pit now and then hope maybe there's a caution within 50 to go so you don't have to run those tires all the way out? Or do you just run this out and then run the next stage out and hope there's no caution, or run the next stint out, if you will?
I mean, I think that's the only thing you could hope for if that's the strategy you're going for now with that early pit. So we're going to see just how this works out. And speaking of how things are working out, this group is trying to work themselves out of whatever they're trying to do right now. Parker White way up on the outside wall. It looks like that outside line isn't as strong as it was early on in the race. You know, we saw guys running up there, making up a lot of time with using the momentum they get off the corners. Hamilton Akaboise nearly just hip checked Blake Reynolds going into turn 1. But I think maybe that middle to bottom lane is where you want to be now. All the grip is right there. We see Falkingham giving White a big shove past Sebastian Marin, and nobody really using that top lane anymore. So you see the rubber build up, that darker groove on the racetrack. That is where most of the grip is, and that's where you're going to see mainly all these drivers running. As up front, here comes Brian Mercurio to the inside of Malik Ray. This is for 3rd.
Let's see what he can do. Mercurio has had one of the better long-run cars today. Jonathan Oshalom's on pit road. Parker White coming to pit road this time. Cosman, Alex Kolinix, Matt Spalding.
Here we
Daniel
go.
Falkingham pitting, so the window is open. Watch this second pack here coming off turn 4, because this could get dicey. No, everybody avoids. Will they get down to pit road speed in time? Parker White locks up the tires, but no black flags from the folks coming onto pit road.
This pit road is fairly easy to get into. The only way you're going to get a black flag is if you push it too hard. So we shouldn't be seeing too many guys getting squirrely or getting black flags, but you never know, especially at this point of the season, especially the playoff drivers. Everyone's going to be trying to make up as much space as they can. Kevin King announces he's coming in. Here he comes. Shouldn't be any issues with him there. Here comes Kevin
Zach
McAdams.
Zach Hudson got a black flag and he disconnected. So he rage quit because he got a black flag. But Kevin and Kevin on pit road, joined by Chase Durheim as well. No black flags for the three of them.
Like I said, not too crazy going on to pit road. So the front of the field still battling very heavily. There's Omar Diallo diving to the inside of Daniel Botafuco, right behind Malik Ray.
Trouble,
That's
one in
very
the grass. One in the grass on the front straightaway.
Close. Is it David Cabrera?
It was David Cabrera. He was not trying to pit. He just got loose off turn 4 and mowed the grass. It was called out by race control, but he kept it rolling and we stay green.
See if anyone at the front of the field pits. I mean, we saw Kevin King. He was running towards the front. He pits. So no, it hasn't really had that snowball effect as I thought it would. So the top 10, everybody's staying on. So here comes Mercurio again, diving to the inside of Wyatt Tinsley. I think he might get the move done this time into 1. So move Brian Mercurio into P2 for now, and it looks like he's going to stay that way. But I'm very curious to see, Jacob, how long these guys wait to pit. I mean, we saw Kevin King come in. We saw Parker White come in. So it's kind of head scratching to see these guys stay out as long as they have. Maybe they're just trying to make it so they can make it one more stop. Who knows?
It would be a difficult task for sure. And the way those guys are racing, they are not saving to try and make it that long haul. They would need to make it another 15 or so laps in order to have a shot to make this a one more stop. Brandon Hawken is on the pit lane. Brian Mercurio is closing in. He's running a second a lap faster, rather a tenth of a second a lap faster than Michael Guest, and he could take over the lead here within the next few laps if he feels the need. He may just hang around in the draft and try and save fuel.
See, that might not be a bad call for Brian. He knows he's faster right now, and judging by that little just patience move there, I think he's trying to do exactly that. So he's just backing off early, going into the corners, getting a good run off, and just using the slipstream. Guest announces he's pitting. Mercurio's coming in, so here is the front of the field making their green flag stops. Who will execute the best?
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Tinsley stays out. Omar Diallo makes it, no problem. Michael Guest hard on the brakes and locked him up, but does not speed. The 34 is out of fuel.
Wow.
And is out of fuel. And he's on the apron. So Tyler J. Williams is out of fuel and is coasting around here on the back straightaway.
Botafuco announces he's coming in. That was last time. David Brown, Sebastian Marin announces he's coming in. So our leader, Wyatt Tinsley, he's coming in. Malik is trying to follow him through. Malik very wide. He's going to make it. Locks up. Blake Reynolds locks up. Michael Frisch locks up. That was an interesting entrance.
Oh, Tyler Gary, there's no way. Oh, my. I can't believe he didn't speed.
That'll surrender the lead to none other than Jordan Worth,
who promptly screamed, he's pitting!
Yep. So here comes Davey to pit road.
Joseph Armstrong going to follow him.
Oh, Jordan's got the first pit box right there. He had to dive right in immediately. Here comes Matthew Zwack. Locked up. He might have gotten a black flag. He was pretty fast.
Nope, all good. That's going to hand the lead over to one Lawson Peel. He was the first guy to come onto pit road. He has a 2.5 second lead over Daniel Falkingham. And right now the SpaceX machine. Caution is out! Back straight away.
Oh, it's Cosman.
He wasn't the only one.
Oh, man, what happened here?
This,
it looks like Botafuco.
Does he get hit? Oh, he does. Botafuco turned him.
Yeah, he just bumped him. Not sure
and
what
then Nick Miller spins to avoid.
Not sure what the deal behind that was. And that'll be a drive-through penalty for Daniel Botafuco.
That is huge for the playoff driver.
Wow.
well.
I don't want to say this changes everything, but yeah, just
Changes a lot.
It changes a lot, but on those fresher, I don't know why he's just. Cosman's obviously on older tires and not really as fast. I don't know why you just don't go around him. That's kind of a head scratcher to me, but nonetheless, we are back under caution, and I got a very bad feeling we will go single file shortly the way this is going.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens once they get back rolling. But, well, they're not going to be able to make it to the end on fuel. They're still going to have to pit one more time.
Definitely not.
Which might be the worst part about it. But nonetheless, Daniel Falkingham's your leader. 61 to go. We're going to a break. The rest of the race coming your way next here from Las Vegas. Choosing has occurred here at Las Vegas. And Daniel Falkingham is your leader. Daniel Botafuco has been given an end-of-line penalty. We have 33 cars on the lead lap with a restart under 60 laps to go. Oh boy. Jacob Pitts, Sean Butler here with you for the final 59 laps. Falkingham, Jordan Worth, Parker White, Joseph Armstrong, Michael Guest, your top five. Then Malik Ray, Brian Mercurio, Omar Diallo, Matthew Zwack, and Hamilton Akabuze, your top 10. Your other remaining playoff drivers that aren't in the top 10. Wyatt Tinsley's 11th. Brandon Hawkins is 12th. Blake Reynolds is 15th. Michael P. Frisch is 16th. Kevin King is 24th. Kevin McAdams is 25th. Daniel Botafuco is 32nd. Here we go. Ready for the restart. They will have to make one more pit stop before the checkered flag. Some drivers may elect to try and save enough gas to make it to the end. Question is, will the tires hang on that long? Green flag, slow, bring them down to the restart there from Falkingham. Jordan Worth did not get rolling. And here we go to turn one.
I did not think that restart was very clean right there, but nonetheless, the front three will get away. Jordan is stuck on the top there. He's got Joseph Armstrong behind him. And Jordan looks like he's going to clear. Armstrong is all over the place on the backstretch. Here comes Guest diving 3 wide underneath Omar Diallo.
Oh, Zwack! Zwack is in the wall, and they're crashing behind. Kolonix gets turned. He saves it. Naraki comes to a dead stop, and the caution flag is out as he's now in trouble. Coming back down in front of Brett Punkari. And
here we go.
So Zwack, I think, got loose, and then Kolonix did the same thing, and Kolonix got up into Naraki, and Naraki was on the brakes, and Punkari had nowhere to go. Here's the replay. This is part 1 with Zwack just getting loose. That's a playoff driver into the wall. And then behind them, big damage there to the 37. And nowhere from the 35 to go as Naraki's coming back down the racetrack.
Just bouncing down the track. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love this car. But
well, watch here. Watch Kolonix in front of the 12. He gets loose and nowhere to go.
Same exact thing that happened to Zwack. It looked like happened to Kolonix. Kolonix just had a lot more traffic around him, unfortunately, and everyone had to take evasive action. Race control going to put this on the 22 of Kolonix. So there's Zwack just getting loose. Kolonix right behind, and Naraki's car falls apart when it hits the wall. Then Brett Punkari in the Peugeot hits him. That's just a strange ordeal there.
Yeah. That's going to give us yet another restart. Couple of drivers coming to pit road. Josh Chin, Kevin McAdams, most of them fuel only. Danny Botafuco as well. Brett Punkari is done for the night. Sean, who do we want to talk to under this caution flag? We haven't gotten the chance to talk to anybody yet.
Who can we talk to? I mean, we could talk to... Let's see, who's down here that we could cut it up with? I mean, we always cut it up with this guy. I mean, he's always just, chilling, hanging out. So we'll bring in the one and only Blake Reynolds. Blake.
Yeah.
What are you doing back there?
I don't know. I haven't quite figured out how to drive this all night. So we're just trying to save our tires the best we can. I didn't understand if I was saving or over driving. That's kind of been how I feel the whole night. The tires are made of Play-Doh. Honestly, I can't drive hard at all. So it's really hard to tell.
I mean, the racing for the most part, when you guys are cutting up, has been fun to watch. I mean, it looks like it's kind of fun to drive when you guys are able to battle the way you are. I mean, is it more frustrating or more fun to kind of be out there in a big pack like that, mixing it up?
Well, it's frustrating because like I'll pass 3 guys like ba-ding, 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 good job, and then my tires are on fire, and then I'm stuck in line for the next 10 laps until I cool them down again. So it is frustrating. I'm sure it looks entertaining. It's kind of a pack race, but it is super, super frustrating. Yeah, it's just kind of a bad night for me. Like I've scored, I think, 2 stage points at the first stage, and I really shouldn't have been there. And then I scored none the second time because Hawken hit me in the pits and made me go through my stall. So that's great. And then, it's just not been a good night so far.
Well, for the most part, it is fun to watch, but it did have that kind of frustrating look to it. Like I was talking about how big momentum looked here. We saw guys trying to use the wall in 3 and 4, and that looks like it's slowly started to fade a bit. So, I mean, what would you say the key is as Malik nearly drives headfirst into the wall of a 4 choosing? But what would you say maybe the key is to passing? The bottom just looks almost impossible to pass somebody in.
I'm literally just like picking the line that has the least amount of dirty air and then gunning it and hoping I don't spin out. That's pretty much it. Also, you can't get on the brake or turn too much or else you spin out. But it's also plowing tight. I don't know how else to describe that. It just doesn't turn, but it also wants to spin out.
Yeah, that sounds like the next gen car. Great car to drive. I'm being heavily sarcastic. That's just my opinion, though. But Blake, you're doing a good job. Try to keep that thing in one piece. It looks like that's going to be the key to this thing, to getting a solid finish, and just be sure to avoid the carnage that is inevitably going to happen.
Yes, Sean, will do.
Thank you, Blake. Go get him.
Thank you.
That is the most kind of dejected we've heard Blake in a while. So that just kind of goes to show how much of a, I guess, of an endurance race or just a race of attrition this has been, Jacob.
Yeah. So Alex Kolinick, since it was a first lap crash, he gets an EOL. Or rather a drive-through penalty. His rec scores at 5, but because it was a first lap incident, he loses 2 rec points. So Falkingham and Malik Ray on the front row for this restart. 53 laps to go. Green flag. Much better restart this time at the front of the pack.
Great restart by Malik on the outside there. He's able to kind of stay with Falkingham. He might be able to clear him coming off of turn 2. Parker White trying to push Daniel on that bottom lane. Malik pinching him down. We're going to see what lane prevails. Malik heavily pinching all them down the backstretch, trying to side draft them all, but they're still side by side for the lead in 3.
And Falkingham's going to take the spot. Meanwhile, Omar Diallo a little further back, struggling to hold the bottom of the racetrack. He holds it down there. And Tyler, I'm confused. Tyler Gary was supposed to be at the back on that restart and apparently needs to give spots up. I am confused, as is Tyler Gary.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Know. 3 wide at the
That's
front.
happened to me before, so I feel Gary on that. Jordan Worth stuck up there. He's got Brian Mercurio, Brandon Hawkin underneath him. Jordan nearly misses the wall off of 4 there, so that's going to be where our race is, Jacob. So you mentioned that we have that one more pit stop. I'm curious to see what these guys do. At the front is Malik nearly turning Daniel Falkingham. He's going to get to the inside of him going into turn 3.
Trouble.
Caution!
Turn 1, big crash. Chase Durheim, Jonathan Goke, David Cabrera.
What is Cabrera doing? How did he get... There we go.
They were 4 wide in turn 1. And this is a vicious crash. Watch that, not that, the 10.
There we go.
Watch this. 4 wide, Goat comes down and just turns Durheim hard into the wall. And it collects Oates, Goke, and Cabrera all up by the wall right here.
That's the second time Jonathan Oates has been up by the wall and just a crash happens below him, and he... Ugh, this is not...
Yeah.
This is a night Jonathan Oates would like to forget.
And this caution is going to put everybody in the window here.
And then David just hooks himself on the right front of Durheim there. I guess David couldn't really turn his car. So ATVO does this thing where it just locks onto a car for some reason. Zach knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, same exact thing that happened to Jonathan Oates before. He's minding his own business, running the wall, and then the crash just comes up into him. So definitely, I feel Jonathan's pain there. That is not ideal. Yep. But we have some strategy occurring right now, Jacob.
We do.
A lot of guys pitting, a lot of guys staying out.
So Daniel Falkingham stays out. He's your race leader. He's got to pit again. His last pit stop was 21 laps ago. Falkingham cannot make it to the end, but he's your leader. Nick Miller is second. He also stayed out. He last pitted 12 laps ago. It's going to be tough for him to make it. Same with Seth Knoll, who's in third. Kevin McAdams stayed out. He's in fourth. It's going to be close for him. If he saves and we go green the rest of the way, maybe. Outside of that, I think McAdams, he's going to have to come to pit road one more time. Kolinick stayed out as well. He's in fifth. Your first driver off pit road, Sebastian Marin, in sixth. Fuel only. First driver to take 4 tires on that stop, Malik Ray. Parker White did so as well, along with Guest, Diallo, Akaboyeze, Tinsley, Hawkin, Mercurio, and more. So some fuel only there on pit road, some 4 tire stops on pit road, plus the guys that stayed out. So we're going to be shuffled the rest of the way.
Kevin, How are we looking on strategy right now? What are you thinking?
Well, I think I need a little bit of help, but if we get another quick caution, which, cautions have definitely bred more cautions, we're probably about a lap or two short if this goes green, but I will take the track position for now, but I'm hoping that we get another quick caution here, and then I'll be good to go for the rest of the race, and then hopefully it just goes green from there. But it's always good to get track position. I've been pretty decent speed wise. It's essentially a pack race, so you got to save in the pack, and then things start to break out a little bit, and you kind of you're kind of stuck where you're at unless you're a Coke driver. Those guys can drive through the field like it's nothing. But we'll see how this works out. I'm sure the guys behind us will pass, and I think I'm going to run about 90% anyway. Save a little bit of tire, save a little bit of fuel, and then see where we end up here in about 10-15 laps and go from there.
So one more thing for you. So you're pretty sure the guys that just pit are able to make it to the end, no problem.
I would say, yeah. I think the fuel window is 47 to 49. I know Naraki was able to, if it went green, he was going to be able to make it into stage 1, so that's obviously 50. So it's good. I think it'll be fine for them. I'm going to need to save a little bit.
All right, man. Well, hope you survive to the end, and we'll see how this thing plays out. Best of luck to you, dude. I'm pulling for you.
I appreciate it. I'm going to try and lead the lap. These guys all chose the bottom.
Excellent. Well, go get him out there, Tiger.
Hey, thanks.
So that's interesting, Jacob. So, I mean, I see where he's coming from with the strategy there, because who knows? The guys that pit, they still have to get through all the guys that stayed out, and who knows how clean that'll be. So I don't mind the call from Kevin and everybody that stayed out. If they think they can save enough to make it, why not?
Yeah, this will be interesting here with the strategy. And I'm no fuel expert, so some of these guys that I don't think can make it might be able to make it. Daniel Falkingham is your leader. It's going to take a Hail Mary for him to make it to the end on fuel. And Kevin McAdams up there on the outside that we just talked to, going to try and lead a lap, which is very useful as far as points, because you get points for leading a lap. You're an FTF, and he could use all the points he could get as far as the championship's concerned right now. Kolonix, Nick Miller, Sebastian Marin, your top 5. Kevin King is your first playoff driver in 7th. Your first driver on 4 fresh tires is Malik Ray in 11th. Pace car is in. 46 laps to go in Las Vegas. Green flag.
Oh, man.
Oh, a really slow start.
Nick Miller just rammed the back of Daniel Falkingham there at the start. Kevin McAdams will not get his lap led. Parker White dives way to the inside underneath Malik Ray. So we're going to see just how desperate these new tires are getting up through the field. Michael Guest way to the outside. Daniel Botafuco trying to follow him through. Got a slow car in the bottom back there. They're 4 wide going into 3. Oh, boy.
Speechless. Just speechless.
There's no way.
Still 4 wide. One car almost crashed. It's one of the playoff drivers. Mercurio got bodied by Wyatt Tinsley. Falkingham is gone. Running away from Kolonix. Saved it.
So Blake Reynolds was talking about these things want to just push loose. Parker White gets shoved into turn 3 there.
Gonna go round. Oh, what a save again!
Wow.
How many times has he done that this year?
This is incredible stuff. Blake Reynolds said this is frustrating, but it's fun to watch with us up here. But that's kind of separated this group here. There's 2 packs now. Falkingham is driven away, as you've said. That's Josh Chin in the 53 up there. He's riding the wall. He's the one who pushed Parker White into turn 3. Here comes Kevin King just a little bit further ahead there. He dives under Seth Knoll. Seth is pinching him down there. Michael Guest trying to follow through. Seth is loose. How have they not wadded this up yet?
This is nuts. Kevin King just rolled the sleeves up.
Oh, man. This is all the ingredients of a massive championship implications moment As we're on board with Buttafuoco through all this madness, there's Lawson Peel hitting the wall. Buttafuoco's going to hit Peel, going underneath Sebastian Marin, right behind Malik Ray. I cannot believe that they have not wadded this up yet. This is both awesome and nail-biting at the same time. There's 3 wide, Lawson Peel right there. Omar Diallo, Nate Stewart wanted an Omar Diallo update. There it is. Oh man, I'm going to need to catch my breath if and when they sort this out. This is insane.
By the way, Daniel Falkingham, no signs of saving. He's got a 1.5 second lead.
Yep.
And growing. And remember, he's on older tires and cannot make it to the end on fuel.
He's going to need to hope that these guys all wadded up. There
they go. Nick Miller into the wall.
That'll be a
contact
caution.
with Peel. Caution's out.
Wow.
And everybody else avoided the 19. That thing stuck to the outside wall like glue. Maybe a little bit of damage to the right side of Parker White when Lawson Peel bounced down the racetrack. But other than that, that could have been a 15-car pileup. Instead, it's a single-car spin. And we get a caution with 41 to go.
All right, well, replay time. Nick Miller again, what Blake Reynolds was talking about. This thing just gets loose off the corner if you put too much gas into it. It looks like it got too high, and Lawson Peel was right there under him enough to hook him and just sent him around a little bit, and he just drug along the outside wall in the front stretch. Doesn't look there's too much damage. Here's another angle. Watch the 12 car right there just behind. Parker White's kind of pushing him up there off the corner. Maybe Parker didn't know they were staggered 3 wide, similar to the incident we saw earlier in the race off of turn 2. But Justin Melillo on the 12 car is 30-second hold, so they're going to call that on Lawson Peel. That is, I think there's a lot of layers to that. There's Parker White. Nothing much Lawson Peel could have done because Parker White's just pushing him up there. So I kind of hope they maybe review that because I don't know what else they expect Lawson Peel to do there.
Well, and Lawson Peel, because of his wreck score, you're right, he gets a 30-second hold for the contact that brings out the caution. Daniel Falkingham pits this time by. He's not the only one, but Kevin King, Michael Guest, Malik Ray stay out.
Kevin McAdams stayed out too. That's surprising.
Yeah, well, if Kevin thinks he can make it to the end on fuel and he can keep this track position as long as we keep getting cautions. Remember, he said he only felt like he was 1 or 2 laps short. He saves under this caution flag. That may be enough, Sean, for Kevin to roll up his sleeves and say, as long as I don't wreck, I've got a shot to get a good point tonight out of this.
I mean, that's the issue. I mean, we've seen, though, he's going to be on a lot older. He's already on older tires, and the people in front of him have fresh tires. Everyone around him has fresher tires. So he's got to be careful just not to get swallowed up by this pack that's going to be around him at all times. And, I mean, if it's one false move by Kevin or anybody around him, and that could be it for his season. So it's a risk for sure for Kevin, but he's made his bed now. He's got to sit in it or lay in it, I guess. That's what you do in a bed if you want to use it properly. But nonetheless, I don't know. He's put himself in an interesting spot. And if he could maintain like a top 10 position like this, I'd be impressed. So Justin Melillo has confirmed to us 12 put himself in the box, Sean. He was never inside the 19, so that's why it was called on the 12 of Lawson Peel. So that is Race Control's reasoning for that call, and that is official.
And, you know, I get it. That I understand Justin's.
I do want to see this though.
There.
So watch Parker White in the 11. He's under Lawson right there, and that's a tough one to call. It really, I think it is. So I think Parker is there enough. If we can get that onboard from Parker one more time, Zach, there's a slow-mo. Parker's there already, and they're staggered 3 wide. So I don't know. I would, if it was me making the call, I would say it's a racing deal mainly. So let's see if we get that on board. There it is for Parker. He's there right here. And the 12 looks underneath the 19. And I don't know, man. It's a tough one.
I think Justin's argument is the Peel was never underneath the 19 until the 19 bobbled. And
Mhm.
that's why it's on the 12. If he could lift and avoid running over the 19. Now, I get you don't want to lift in that situation, right? Because if you
Mhm.
lift, you're going to lose a ton of track position. But
We could go on about that one for a while, I think. That's one of those tough calls.
So Kevin King, your race leader. Now, both Kevin King and Kevin McAdams, they are on the same age tires here. They only took fuel only on their last stop. Same thing goes with Jack Mace, Joseph Armstrong, and Josh Chin. Everybody else is on 4, at least up here at the front, and most of those folks that pitted under this most recent caution took 4 tires. So
Kevin,
let's see what happens.
Kevin McAdams puts himself in that top lane there with Malik Ray. So we saw Malik get a great restart last time when he was in second. So Malik has proven that he can time these restarts very well. He's got to try and match up with Kevin King on this restart. So interesting cars on the top: Malik Ray, Kevin King, Omar Diallo, Jordan Worth, and Kevin King, Michael Guest, Parker White, and the 07 of Jack Mace. We haven't said a word about him this whole race, and Jack Mace has found himself up there. He's being shown in 7th right now. So this is I have a feeling this is about to get wacky right now, Jacob, and we are just now getting to the start of the race, if that makes sense. If you catch my drift on that one.
Yeah, this is it. 36 laps to go when we get the restart. Kevin King and Malik Ray on the front row. Kevin King trying to go back-to-back here at Las Vegas and lock himself into the round of 8. Oh, boy, Kevin McAdams did not get a good restart there. The outside line stacks up, and they're wheel-to-wheel to turn 1 for the lead.
Another great restart by Malik Ray in second, timing the restart perfectly. And I think he's gonna do exactly what he did last time, try to pinch Kevin down. Here comes Guest underneath, 3 wide for the lead.
Cosman around. Daniel Falkingham is around, a playoff driver. He collects the 63 of Ryan Pandicio. Seth Knoll is involved. There's another car collected as well. With Cosman, it is Nick Miller in the 19. And Nick Miller has parked the race car. Daniel Falkingham says it's on him, and he may have given the old boot scooting boogie to the 84, and that's the second playoff driver to turn Cosman tonight. Here's the replay mid-pack.
Put a Fuco up at the very top. Yep,
Wow.
just bumped him in the wrong spot, and around he goes. Seth Knoll nosing it into the wall there. Tyler Gary has pulled the plug. There's Cosman just getting loose. Oh, and the Ryan Pandicio just got barely clipped by Falkingham there. Could have been a lot worse. Again.
Well, that's a drive-through penalty on Falkingham, though.
Yeah.
Because it was a restart crash.
That's big.
So that takes 2 points away on the wreck score. And that means Daniel Falkingham will have to come to pit road for a drive-through penalty under the restart, and the 12 of Lawson Peel, because he didn't get to serve the penalty, he is going to have to sit in the box for 1 lap and lose the lap under caution to effectively serve the penalty for bringing out the last caution.
And again, in FTF, restart wrecks are scrutinized a lot more than normal wrecks, if that makes sense. So there's no reason why we should be running each other over on restarts. And the admins here at FTF have made it a big point. Hey, we need to get these restarts off cleanly. Everyone needs to mind their P's and Q's. And if you cause a wreck on a restart, you get penalized heavier for it. So I'm in a big favor of that rule. It keeps the racing cleaner. Shout out to the admins here at FTF. They work very hard, very diligently to make the racing as clean and as fun as possible. And that's just another one of those rules that are going to come back to bite a few drivers. And Jacob, in that case, it was playoff driver, Coke driver Daniel Falkingham.
And it's those mistakes that could come back to bite him Remember, on points, Falkingham was 104 to the good. He did not have a great round one. 16th at Bristol, 29th at Iowa, 37th at Talladega. And at Charlotte Roval last week, Falkingham finished third, and that helped slide him up. But right now, it's starting to look like he may drift backward here before the night is done.
All I know is Kevin McAdams can't keep getting away with this because this was his entire strategy. He did not put any faith in this field. He says, they're going to keep wrecking. I'm going to stay up here ahead of everything and sneak my way into a top 5 potentially. And it's working so far. And I'm slightly aggravated because of it and jealous. So
now be careful here, because there's always the possibility that things go awry.
Jacob, if there's anybody that knows how awry things can go in races, it's me.
Well,
judging by my history at this very racetrack, nonetheless.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's James D. Gibson?
Where is he's not here to wreck me in this race. He can't wreck me when I'm in the booth, so he'll have to figure that one out if he wants to try that. But
this is true, factual statement.
Very true. But we hope everybody here is enjoying this. Fiduska 011 in the Twitch chat said this is pretty cool to watch, and we appreciate that. So glad y'all are here. It's not like we're not paying attention to the Twitch chat. We are. Y'all are talking about the rules in there. You see Jacob in there putting his 2 cents. So thank y'all for being here. And Zach has been very minimal in yelling at us, so I think we're doing something right tonight.
My faith has been renewed at FTF with tonight's race. I tell you what, the Roval, pretty tough to watch. I think that's partly because of the car, partly because of the racetrack. We're doing pretty well here. Let's just keep it together, get to the finish line. I probably shouldn't have said what I said yet, just because there's still a lot of time to ruin it. But we have, it's been a solid night so far. We've had a lot of good racing, which is something that we've missed. Look, I mean, I was there for Talladega. That was all right. It was
an event.
I don't remember Bristol. Yes, I do. That was the race Jordan Worth almost won. I remember Bristol, but it was a bit all over the place. I skipped Iowa, knowing what was going to come there. So we are doing pretty good, all things considered. And, of course, I think the only race that I'm genuinely going to skip is Martinsville, because need I say more? Meanwhile, we're getting ready to go back to green. Malik Ray and Kevin King again on the front row. Green flag. A great launch for Malik Ray. He's going to take the lead.
That is a heck of a restart by Malik Ray. Avoided the side draft. Wyatt Tinsley trying to look underneath Kevin McAdams. They are staggered 3 wide, staggered 4 wide in the middle of this pack here. Matt Spalding, Blake Reynolds, Brandon Hawkin, Brian Mercurio. Here comes Josh Chin to the outside of Jordan Worth. Joseph Armstrong to the inside. They are 3 by 3 into turn 3 for 3 rows.
Oh, and Armstrong's going to wash up, get into Jordan Worth.
Oh, boy.
Oh, they keep it in the right direction. They are 3 wide, 3 rows deep.
Something's about to happen here. Josh Chin was getting beaten up by Brandon Hawkin on the front stretch. Hawkin gets loose going into one, but Afuco's up there with him. Chin looks like he's going to clear Jordan Worth. Not quite. Blake Reynolds is there. They get sideways. Joseph Armstrong gets loose. Mercurio looks 4 wide into 3.
That's 2 playoff drivers in that. Frisch is the third right behind it. You got Buttafuoco. There they go. Buttafuoco into the wall. Frisch collected as well. Akabueze turned hard into the outside wall, and he's almost upside down. Terrible crash.
David Cabrera through the grass. You knew it the second you saw it happening, Jacob. There was no way that was going to work.
Matt Spalding got a piece of that as well. Frisch with some right side damage. Good amount of damage to both corners, front and rear of the 13 of Daniel Buttafuoco. In fact, I think his toe link is broken on the left rear. Watch this hit by Akabueze. Cuomo
Lands
Jeff
on
Gordon.
Buttafuoco's car.
Jeff Gordon a la 2007 at Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. I want to know how this started because it looked all of a sudden. Who was that? Matt Spalding?
Yeah, it's Spalding right there.
What
He just gets
happened?
loose. I think he just got loose. I don't know if there was any contact at all. I think it just snapped on him. Big damage for Chris Wetz going through the grass. Here you see Cabrera.
Watch that. 54.
Akabueze says it could be netcode, and it's on Spalding.
You alluded to this earlier, Jacob. When you have to turn right, you're pretty much done. So it looks like Spalding started to power slide a bit. The rear came out. He overcorrected a little bit, and that's just sent him straight into Akabueze's car. So watch this. So there you see it slide there, still sliding, slid a little, and just barely twitched up into look like Buttafuoco he went up into. And that's all it takes for this car. It's so confusing sometimes on a track like this to know what your car is going to do in a slide or when it's loose. But that's a tough one to corral. And that 4 wide, not ideal in that situation. And that was Exhibit A. But man, what a wreck that was. That was kind of had me befuddled there a bit. So I'm still kind of not sure how it happened, but nonetheless, here we are. So that's one to unpack later for sure.
We're choosing penalty for Spalding is a stop and go. Lawson Peel, remember how he had to serve that penalty in the last caution? Well, he gets the free pass, and now he's back on the lead lap. Nice penalty.
Wow. Yep.
So the restart inside 30 to go. Malik Ray is out in front, and he was starting to put some distance between himself and everybody behind him.
Kevin McAdams is in 7th. It needs to stop.
Yep.
You
have a lot of not common names up here in the top 10. Kevin is one of them. Jack Mace is another. Alex Kolonix. He has been the definition of a lot of talent, just needs to harness it on a weekly basis. He has had so many good runs get blown away by a crash, whether it's his fault or not, and here he is running a 9th.
Jordan Worth up there, as you alluded to, nearly won at Bristol a few weeks ago. Lost on a last lap pass from Daniel Buttafuoco. Looking to get that 97. Chad Little inspired Davies Doobies, Davey Davis Mowing Institution Chevrolet Camaro to victory lane. A lot of the way the racing has been tonight, nobody within the top 15, I think, is out of this thing. So anything can happen. Malik Ray, Michael Guest, Parker White, Kevin King, all a bunch of Coke drivers up at the front here. A lot of talent up there. Omar Diallo, a great driver as well. Wyatt Tinsley, Coke driver. Kevin McAdams just Mickey Mousing his way to a top 10 at this point. As you said, there's a mix of everybody up here. And the way we just saw how that little tiny run went, it's going to get more intense at the end of this thing. And it might come down to who is going to avoid the gigantic wreck at the end, to either win or get themselves a great finish. So I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out. This whole race has been very exciting. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. We don't know how many cautions there have been so far. We'll have to get that at the end of the race, unless Zach knows. But it's been enough, I think, is the correct answer to that question.
Let's take a look here. Sort description, scroll down to the C's, and we'll see if Zach finds this before me. But the number is, oh boy, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 caution flags tonight.
Wow. And we're not done. We are not done.
Yeah. Here we go. 25 laps to go on the restart. 11 cautions. Malik Ray. Parker White on the front row. Are you kidding? Oh, boy. Here we go. Looking for win number 13. Green flag.
Another great restart by Malik. He always gets that jump effectively. Here comes Brian Mercurio already 3 wide underneath Joseph Armstrong and Jordan Worth. They're staggered 4 wide into 1. There they go again.
On the wall. Oh, no, Rocky. David Cabrera. Vicious crash. And for the 4th time tonight, Jonathan Oates gets swept up in a crash up against the outside wall.
David Brown, there you see him. David Cabrera.
Cabrera was the hard crash, or the hard impact. Brian Pandicio in that. And we are now going to single file restarts.
Yep. It's about time. Let's see. Where did this start? So there's David Brown, that silver, orange, and purple car. What in the world happened there?
It's like the contact just knocked him sideways, and as soon as you turn right, you can't save it.
How?
I don't know.
I don't know about this one. What in the world? David Cabrera in the 31. Does he get loose? Yeah, it was another one of those things. He gets nudged a little bit. The back end comes around. He tries to correct. The front end just grips like crazy, and it just sends him straight in the wall. That's ridiculous. I can't remember the last time the overcorrects were like this in a race. We've had a few of them. Little contact there between Pandicio, and it's just it's instant.
Would like to welcome in a new audience that was watching Benjamin Easterday Admin Mooncar.
Thank you, Ben.
And yeah, welcome to More Cautions. This is our 12th of the night.
Oh boy, I think at this point we might have to talk to him. This is not going to be good. Oates.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Oates.
John?
Oates, you're in the booth now. This is like the 4th time you've been on the outside of people, and they just wreck into you in this race. Why is this happening?
I don't know, but to be fair, that time I don't think I hit anyone too bad. I think that one went okay. I do have to bring it down pit road though, because I locked up pretty bad in that. I don't know. It's been probably the worst FTF night probably of the season for me. I've had some bad races, but this one might take the cake. I've been murdered twice, almost the 3rd time. I don't know. It's not going very well for me.
I mean, the first one was bad. The 2nd and 3rd ones were bad. This one wasn't really as bad.
What was the 3rd one?
This was like the 3rd, I think the 4th one that you were just up on the top lane and you just get destroyed by people wrecking below you. Like it's been the same wreck.
I don't know if I remember. I think you're remembering one that I'm not. It's happened so much.
I know. That's what I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but
it might be the brain damage from slamming into the wall so much. I don't think I really remember this much anymore.
I mean, the first one was in 1 and 2, and you got the worst of it by damage-wise, which didn't make any sense. Which
is like ridiculous, but I guess it is what it is.
There were 2 other ones in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That happened. And then this one, I think. So I think it might be 4 that you just had 0. There's nothing you could have done. I
think I'd stop going to the top, but I keep doing it. I don't know why.
Well, maybe go to the bottom this time. Who knows?
You know what? I think I'm going to go to the bottom this time. But if I get wrecked on the bottom, I'm not going to be happy with you.
I know. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Someone or something doesn't want you finishing this race if that happens.
I think it's God. I don't think he likes me very much today.
How much damage have we accumulated?
Well, the total is about, if we're including optionals, about 24 minutes total.
Oh my god.
8 of which are unserved, 16 of which have been served. Yeah, it's going pretty bad, Sean. It's not good.
I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I feel your pain, man. I know, but I appreciate you still being in the race. You're not giving up without a fight. And I hope they all just wad it up ahead of you and you sneak through and get a top 10 somehow. That would be fantastic.
I don't know how I could even do that, but honestly, I would love that. Can I just say, this has probably been like the worst FTF season in my life. Like last season, I had a nice little run. Oh wait, we're single file. I forgot. Okay, no, even easier to go to the bottom. But I had a nice little season last season. I was like 7th in points. I did pretty well. This season, I'm 22nd. I have 2 top 10s total. Not a single top 5. I don't think I have a single lap led. This is terrible, Sean. This is awful. I'm having an awful year, and I kind of just want it to be over.
It's okay, Oates. It's almost over. You just got to get through these next few weeks, and you get to re-rack them again in Daytona in 2024.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see where we're at after this race. Just get through the big one, get through protocol at the end of the race, and go get them next week. And hopefully it goes better, because this
next
has
week's not
been
gonna be better. I hate Miami. It's awful. Oh, they're wrecking under caution. They just wrecked under caution.
Oh, it was Cosmin.
They did.
Oh, boy.
Cosmin.
Oh boy, Oates, we'll let you go, man. Good luck with the rest of
Thanks
this
for bringing
thing.
me up here.
And that's his own fault. They were swerving and trying to protest the fact that it's a single file restart, and he just hooked it straight into the outside wall.
Oh boy, Justin
Here
Malillo
we
says
go.
we've lost control.
Single file restart, 20 to go. Cosmin wrapping them around the outside. Green flag.
Cannot change lanes until you get to the start-finish line in FTF.
And now they're going to fan out.
Oh yes. Kevin
This
McAdams
could be worse.
diving underneath Kevin King on older tires. Wyatt Tinsley looking to the outside of Michael Guest. Parker White somehow in second, much to Jacob's chagrin.
Oh, no, there we go. Trouble turn 3. Diallo gets turned by Kevin McAdams. Kevin saves it. Oh, my gosh. Look out. Falkingham gets turned and is horrible damage up against the outside wall.
That's going to be a penalty for Kevin.
And that could put Falkingham in a big box going into Homestead next week. Getting turned across the nose of Jonathan Oshalom, Falkingham did.
If this is on Kevin McAdams, he's got a penalty.
Yeah, he's going to have a drive-through if it's on him. Let's take a look.
Oh.
And
I don't know.
That angle didn't tell the full story.
Oh,
That's what happened to Falkingham.
God.
Turned off the nose. He sent it in too deep and then drifted up into the corner of Oshalom, and that's what got him hooked.
Oh boy, I don't know if we can definitively put that on Kevin. This was similar to what happened with Tyler Gary earlier.
I would put that on Diallo. If you watch, he doesn't follow Kevin King into the corner. He turns in earlier, pulls out a line.
That might be called a racing deal, I think. I think Tyler Gary's was called a racing deal earlier? No, it wasn't. It was on Gary.
No, it wasn't. It was on Gary. If you watch the 4, he pulls out of line before Kevin starts to turn in, and there's the hard shot for
Hellacious
Falkingham.
impact by Falkingham.
A lot of damage, and remember, no
Fast repairs.
fast repairs, so his night's going to be done, more than likely.
He'll get what he can fix, but that is huge implications for him. I'm waiting to see what the officials call this.
With Kevin, yeah.
With Kevin and Omar. Clearly, that would be the Falkingham wreck wouldn't matter, because that's not the main wreck the caution was for. It was for McAdams'
And
contact.
I think if anything there, the fault goes on Falkingham, because he sent it in there and didn't hold the line and wound up turning across the nose of Oshalom there. So I don't see anything coming from that. Malik puts his 2 cents in, saying racing deal netcode. And
4.
Malillo says on the 4.
Wow.
So on Diallo instead of McAdams, and a drive-through penalty for the 4. And Diallo wants an explanation.
Yeah, he's already on pit road. That's an interesting call
the
there.
damage.
Nate Stewart, look away.
Yeah.
Let's see again. We can get a couple angles here. Then our chopper cam. Kevin's coming up, but then he evens out. Omar starts to turn for the corner. Man, I don't know. That Falkingham impact is just so rough to watch, but...
And I base that solely off of watching Kevin King in front, right?
If we can get another look, Zach, if we could, maybe later. Zach has had a lot of work to do on replay, so I understand. But Normally, you're
We've
following.
been very, very analytical tonight.
Normally, you would follow the guy ahead of you, as Jacob was alluding to, in that wreck. So they're kind of explaining why the wreck was called on the 4 in the race chat. So they're going over all that, but there's been some really hit and miss kind of ticky-tack call. I don't want to say ticky-tack, that's not the right word, but very close, like borderline calls tonight. So race control has had their hands full. We've had our hands full with these, and by the looks of how these cars are handling, the drivers have had their hands full for sure. But I mean, Jacob, it's made for an entertaining race, I would say. This is one of the better races this season so far, and we hope you guys in the Twitch channel and on YouTube, wherever you're watching this, are enjoying what you're seeing so far. I know I am.
A lot of good stuff here from Las Vegas. And if you are looking for more, next week, a week from tonight, Homestead Miami Speedway, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. The next week, Martinsville, view at your own risk.
Records were
Championship night. November 5th. NASCAR crowns a champion. We kick off. No, we don't. It's the middle of the round of 8 for us.
There you go.
That night at Phoenix. The next Saturday, we're at Auto Club to determine the championship for November 18th. That's a Saturday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. The bumpy Atlanta Motor Speedway, Legacy Atlanta.
The good Atlanta.
We determine a champion. Yes, sir. Should be a good one on what may be the last race there for us. We don't know.
I hope not.
They haven't determined. We're going to Atlanta twice next year. They haven't determined which one we're going to either time. So I would think it would be 1-1 again, but we'll see. Pace car is in. 15 laps up on the board. Malik Ray and Parker White, your top 2. Green flag, a really late launch from Malik Ray. He waited until the green flag was in the air. He did not hit the accelerator while he was in the restart zone, and he swerves all the way to the bottom to turn 1.
Stacked him up going into the restart zone. Kevin McAdams, the only one on the top lane there. He's looking to the outside of Kevin King, but Kevin King jumps out in front of Kevin McAdams to kind of hold him up there. Up in front, it's a 4-car breakaway. Parker White, Malik Ray, Michael Guess, Wyatt Tinsley all up there. Kevin King and Kevin McAdams side by side for 5th. And we have made it a lap, I think. So I think they might have sorted it out. Look at Michael Guest and Parker White.
Aggressive, these two fighting for the championship.
Wow.
And Guest aggressively takes that spot away. We know how bad he wants to win this race. Being below the cut line, he would love to put himself in a position to advance to the round of 8.
Parker White pushed him all the way down the back straightaway. Malik Ray loving this. He wants to stay out there because he can see this win coming to him. But Michael Guest, Parker White, they're looking bigger picture. They're staying in line. And look at the run Michael Guest has on Malik Ray. He gets right back to the back bumper of the 007.
Your top 4 on fresh tires. Kevin King on older tires. He's in 5th. Trying to close in on Parker White. Lap traffic ahead. It's Omar Diallo. They're 3 wide further back. This is around Kevin McAdams. Mercurio, Kolnick's getting shuffled out of the way. I think they're going to sort it out.
Oh boy, I hope they do. Mason Kolnick's almost make contact off of turn 4. That would have been another wreck. Mace still in the middle bouncing around. Meanwhile, back up front, Michael Guest got all the way to the back bumper. Malik Ray couldn't do anything with it. This has just been chaotic, like this whole race has been. One in the wall off of 2.
Kolnick's.
Alex yelling on the radio. I don't know what for, but he was.
Here comes Parker White looking back for 2nd. 11 laps to go. Lap traffic ahead. It's Diallo. Remember, he was fast, so he could be a contender here.
Nothing much Parker can do in that low lane. Again, the momentum, you want to stay in that middle lane so you can get the proper run off the corner. Diallo's going to stay up by the wall, getting out of the leader's way. He comes down to the middle lane, just side drafting Parker White. And Parker is not going to be happy about that whatsoever. Still getting side drafted, losing more and more ground. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley trying to take advantage. Not sure what that was about, but now we got a two-horse pony show at the dog race up at the front with Malik Ray and Michael Guest.
Coming to 9 laps to go. When will Parker White make the move? He doesn't have any drafting help, so it could be difficult.
Malik got a little loose off of 4 there, it looked like.
At the line, Guest faster by 4 1/1000ths of a second to the inside for the lead.
On the bottom, this is not ideal for passing Guest. Keeps the momentum off pretty well off of 2. Malik got a little loose. He's going to block Guest down the backstretch. Guest to the inside. Gets the side draft. Malik going to pinch him. And this is only going to let Parker White and the rest of the field close the gap. And they're still side by side. Malik Ray with the momentum. Guest tries to side draft to the line. Malik holds him off for that one.
And here comes Parker White. He is closing in. Almost more contact into turn number 1. Still side by side. Ray using the advantage on the high side. Parker White going to go with him. Michael Guest trying to pull him back. Now we'll get the push from the 011. They'll stay side by side.
And that's a strategic move by White, trying to keep this race side by side. Guest is going to clear. Slides up in front of Malik. Malik trying to do the crossover. He's going to get there. Parker's going to try to push Malik. Now stays back with Guest. And this is only going to be a 5-car race now, as here comes Wyatt Tinsley and Kevin King to join the action.
Exactly what we wanted. A fantastic race to the checkered flag. 7 to go. Still wheel to wheel out in front. Can Wyatt Tinsley and Kevin King do anything as the top 3 duke it out? Parker White gonna rim ride here at Las Vegas. Trying to make it 3 wide for the lead. Can't get it done. Michael Guest takes the lead off turn 4.
There's the momentum by Parker White, though. He ran the top very well. He's going to get to the inside of Malik Ray. Malik pulls him back a little bit. But now all the help is on the outside. This is what Guest loves to see right now. Side by side between Ray and Parker White. Parker doesn't have the momentum. He tries to slide up in front of Tinsley. And now Parker going to slide back to 5th as Kevin King going to try to pass. But he's going to keep the bottom lane and hopefully the momentum in 3rd place off of turn 4.
And Mercurio has joined the party as well there in that 41. Another playoff driver. He's been really quiet this year. Consistently fast. Hasn't gone to victory lane, though. 5 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Michael Guest down in front, trying to lock himself into the next round after an abysmal 37th last week at the Roval.
Definitely would be a heck of a recovery for Michael Guest, how dominant he's been in certain starts, especially on 1.5 miles. His good buddy Malik Ray trying to spoil it for him. Malik not racing for playoff points. Michael Guest is. But Malik with a good run off of turn 4. He's got the draft. He might try to make a move into 1. He's going to stay behind. Now duck to the inside. Not quite there for Malik just yet. But Wyatt Tinsley just behind. He's got a big run off of 2. Is he going to do anything with it?
Right to the back bumper of the 007 into turn number 3. He stays in line. Kevin King stays with him. Parker White back to the outside wall. They are stacked up behind Malik Ray coming off turn number 4. They have 3 laps to go here at Las Vegas. The battle is on for the race lead.
Oh, what a block by Malik Ray on Wyatt Tinsley going into 1. Malik looking to get to the inside. He's got tight. He's going to have to check up. Here comes Kevin King underneath Wyatt Tinsley. Malik trying to block. He doesn't know where to go. He stays up top. King looking under Tinsley for 3rd. And Kevin King with the momentum on the bottom. I don't think he's going to be able to clear. The momentum's on the outside with Tinsley and Ray. Tinsley almost into the wall. Ray is going to clear. Go to the apron. Tinsley's going to stay in 3rd. 2 laps to go here at Vegas.
Huge run from Malik Ray. He stays in front of the 20. Now Tinsley drops back down to the bottom. He can't get alongside. Here comes Kevin King. 1 car in the wall up by the fence. That is Brian Mercurio. They stay single file coming to the white flag.
Unbelievable racing here at Vegas. We still got one more time around. Wyatt Tinsley looks to the inside of Malik Ray for 2nd. Michael Guest comes down to the apron. 1 lap to go here at Las Vegas. Contact between Ray and Tinsley. Kevin King trying to push Malik into turn number 1. Tinsley's going to clear. King trying to follow him through. Wyatt Tinsley looking to make this a last-ditch run into 3 down the backstretch.
Huge run through 1 and 2. Wyatt Tinsley is going to have one shot into turn number 3. Drives it in deep. Gets alongside. Pushes him up the racetrack. They're wheel to wheel off turn number 4. Here comes Kevin King with the run in third. They beat on each other. Coming to the finish line.
Wow.
Wyatt Tinsley is going to not get it. Michael Guest got it instead. Michael Guest, by 1/1000th of a second on the outside line, gets it done and beats Wyatt Tinsley. I thought Tinsley had him.
Wow.
Michael Guest, according to scoring, will win at Las Vegas and punches ticket to the round of 8.
What a finish. What a race. That was the only way this race could be capped off, is with a finish like that, and these guys delivered. What a show. What a run to the finish. By 1/1000th of a second by Michael Guest. None of these guys have anything to be ashamed of up at the front. That was absolutely fantastic and a well-deserved win for Michael Guest tonight. If you guys were with us from the start of the broadcast, he started dead last out of the pits at the start of the race to winning. Unbelievable performance by Michael Guest. What a rebound to lock himself into the next round. What a phenomenal race.
Look at this.
It doesn't get much closer than this, everybody. So
No.
first of all, what a move by Wyatt. What a move by Wyatt to even make this stick.
Oh, shout out to Trading Paints. Look at this finish.
Oh man, it does look like Wyatt got him there.
I thought Wyatt just by a nose, but timing and scoring instead put Michael Guest out in front. I don't know if admins want to review this by video. It is so close.
Can we get a zoom in here, Zach? If we can, we're going ultra slow-mo. Frame by frame at the line.
Right?
Oh
there.
my God, that is too close.
It's even. It's even. How?
That is too close to call.
And you would think with cutting the apron that would be faster for Wyatt Tinsley.
Man.
But apparently not.
That is one of the better finishes that you will ever see in any form of racing, sim or the real deal. What a damn finish that was to a great race.
Let's see you do that tomorrow, NASCAR. Giddy up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, follow that. It's a real thing. But there it is.
Michael Guest.
1/1000th of a second over Wyatt Tinsley. Incredible.
And for Wyatt Tinsley, he better hope that 1/1000th doesn't come back to bite him next week at Homestead. If he misses the round of 8, he's going to look back on that finish, but he's also going to look back the technical problem he had last week at the Roval. He started, he did not finish a lap. He finished 43rd, leaving points on the table. But huge night for Michael Guest, though, coming away with the win. Tinsley second, Kevin King third, Malik Ray fourth, Brian Mercurio fifth, Parker White sixth, Jordan Worth comes home seventh, Kevin McAdams eighth, Joshua Chin ninth, Blake Reynolds comes home 10th.
Going down the further list, Brandon Hawken brings it home 11th, Sebastian Marin 12th, Jack Mace a good run in 13th, Joseph Armstrong was the first caution of the race, started 36th, he will finish 14th. I'd say that's a good night at the office for Joseph. Lawson Peel, Michael Frisch, Alex Kolonix, Jonathan Oshalem, Matthew Zwack, and Tyler Williams will round out the front 20.
21st tonight belongs to Chris Wetz. 22nd, Daniel Botafuco, a heartbreaker for him. He had a fast car, same with Daniel Falkingham in 23rd. Omar Diallo, another fast car, comes home one lap down in 24th. Matt Spalding, 25th. Cosmin Yoneshu, 26th. Jonathan Goke, 27th. Art Reimer, 28th. Brian Zabelski, 29th. Ryan Pandisio rounds out the top 30.
Next slide, David Brown involved in a couple of wrecks. He'll finish 31st, 9 laps down. Jonathan Oates, we alluded to his just absolute nightmare of a race. It finally ends with him finishing 32nd, 15 laps down. David Cabrera, 33rd. Hamilton Akaboise, our pole sitter, finishes 34th, 29 laps down. Seth Knoll, Tyler Gary, Nick Miller, Chase Durheim, Ryan Araki, and Brett Punkari will round out your first 40.
And your final 4, it's Zach Hudson, Chase Schaefer, Rocky Boyd, Sander Nyhoff, dead last, 45th on back, missed the race. Michael Guest by 1/1000th of a second. You're moving on to the round of 8. How about that?
Yeah, that was crazy. I I just got a direct drive wheel like 2 days ago, and this is like my first like real big race on it. And
That's bad news for the rest of the service, by the way. Just want to let everybody know that. Guess with a direct drive wheel is not good news for the competition.
well, I felt really good on it tonight, and I was a lot better than I have been lately. This next gen's just really hard running the steering settings I used to run on the G29, so I needed to finally make the switch, and I was kind of panicking coming into tonight because I had such a bad Roval week. I was looking pretty bad for the playoffs, so definitely needed that. I completely just spaced it at the start of the race and started from the pits because I missed the start, and I was really thankful for like the lap 50 caution that got me back in it. But yeah, after winning the second stage and winning the race, I'm feeling really good, and I mean that I almost blew it at the end, so I'm just happy I came home with the win.
Obviously, you don't have to worry about Homestead too much now that you're already locked in. But looking ahead to this round of 8, it's not an easy task. You've got Martinsville, Phoenix, and Auto Club, 2 short tracks, and a 2-mile oval. What's the mindset going into that round of 8, knowing that the pressure is on for that Championship 4 race at Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean that's been the whole goal this year. I've been in really good spots to even make it to like the championship race in years past, but I've just not ran enough races to be in the playoffs, and so I'm trying to change that this year. We've made the playoffs, made the round of 12, and like I said, it was an uphill battle tonight, but I'm glad we got it to where we don't have to worry about Homestead. But Homestead and Auto Club are like my 2 favorite tracks, so I'm looking forward to those 2 tracks. Martinsville and Phoenix, just gonna try to survive them. I'm definitely not a fan of either in this type of league where there's just 43 cars on track with a long race. There's just a lot of opportunity to get wrecked out in that, so we'll just be trying to bring it home clean and see what happens.
I'm still trying to catch my breath. Michael Guest, congratulations. You win at Las Vegas, and you are headed to the round of 8. We'll see you next week at Homestead, and we'll see you in 2 weeks when we go to Martinsville. Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Michael Guest, your winner tonight. And the other side of the coin, barely, Sean Butler has Wyatt Tinsley.
Wyatt, you finished second, not by much. Walk us through that last lap. First of all, how in the world did you make that move into 3 and 4 stick? I'm still trying to figure that out.
I lifted a little bit because I didn't want to dorm because I wanted the race clean there. But I don't know. Entrance of 1 and 2, I was like, I was on the inside of Malik, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to turn for the corner and just send it. And I guess I had a good enough amount of momentum to carry it down the back and just kind of dive it into the inside of Guest, and it kind of stuck. I think I went to the apron too fast and didn't side draft him and then pull off, and then that's probably what hurt that 1/1000th of a second. But overall, I mean, I think I did good on points. I just think they just updated it, and I'm 10th in points right now, a good 30 below the cut line. So we're gonna have to go into the next race with our elbows out, and definitely have to probably contend for a win there.
Well, I mean, nothing to hang your head on for anything in this race. You still drove a heck of a race, had amazing speed the whole time. We were talking to Blake Reynolds earlier in this race, and he kind of mentioned this was kind of like, it was frustrating. It was a pack race. The car was a little tricky to drive. What was your kind of synopsis of, just how you had to handle this car in traffic tonight?
Yeah, so like it was really free the first part of the run. So like the first like 10 or 5 laps, it was free. So like, you kind of had to like not really push the car too much. And then after that, it tightened up significantly because of the right front. So what I did, and I was really helping Dan there because he was struggling on the wrong one with his right front, and I was telling him to back up the corner more and like kind of have it roll. He's like, they're still like pulling him, and I think he kind of helped with that. But yeah, overall, the setup was definitely something to drive. The neutral, I don't even know what to put, but I think overall, it would have been nice to get that win because I would have been locked in and not have to worry about, because of the round of 8. If I get into it, it's going to be hard. I'm going to have to win one of the next couple of races in order to make any of the next rounds, because I'm going to be gone from Martinsville weekend.
Well, that kind of leads into my final question to you. You were kind of close to the cut line there, coming in here to this race, 12th, 77 points out. You made up a little bit of ground on that with your second place tonight. What's your game plan going into next week?
I have to ask. I think it's Homestead, right? So we did
Yes.
win last year, if you remember correctly. We did win Homestead to go into the final four. So hopefully we can just remake that happen again and go back and out with the win. So that's always the goal, is to win in this series, and let's see if we can make it happen.
Well, Wyatt, man, like I said, heck of a damn effort at that finish there. Great run all night. We'll look forward to seeing what you do in Homestead and look and see if you can lock yourself in. Great job tonight.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate to you, both you and Jacob Hitz, of always commentating. Just gotta shout out to Jacob Hitz here. He just does such a damn good job.
What a
every
guy.
week. I feel like you don't like us because you miss some weeks. Honestly,
He
I
doesn't.
heard last week.
He
I heard
doesn't
last
like
week or the
anybody.
week before you skipped because you were watching football.
Yep.
Now, man,
Look,
That is true.
there are some weekends where there are business decisions where it's my sanity or FTF. Martinsville will be one of those weekends. Iowa may or may not have been one of those weekends, but there are some races like tonight coming in. I almost thought, is there a way I could get out of this? But I stuck it out, and it was perhaps the best race of the year outside of the FTF 500.
yeah, it was a great race. So I appreciate everyone watching at home, and hopefully we'll make it happen again next week. Thank you.
And that's a message to everybody out there watching. If you think it's going to be a bad race, tune in anyway. You never know what could happen here on FTF.
Have a blessed night.
Wyatt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Thank you for showing up to work as well, Jacob. Much appreciated.
Here's Kevin King, third place finisher tonight, and he had a lot to work for, coming home third. I know you won here last year, and you just wanted to get the monkey off your back, right, and get to victory lane, but as weird as it sounds, good points day going into Homestead next week.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting race, right? I felt good. I got some damage there when we had, I guess, a collision between Daniel, myself, and Parker that really killed. I think it just messed up the side force or something because I was really loose all the way beyond that point. So kind of managed the best I could, picked some good lanes, and felt like I had good pace right there. Just obviously came up a little short, but pretty happy to avoid all the chaos and come away with the third. I haven't had too many top fives this season, unfortunately, so this is a good one.
Looking ahead to Homestead, I know you're trying to get to victory lane. You're also trying to get yourself into this next round and into the round of 8. You were toward the cut line coming into tonight. You were 8th. We still haven't gotten points yet as to how they're going to look going into next week at Homestead for the cutoff race. How confident do you feel going in where if you need to perform next week, you're going to be able to get it done?
Oh, I got them covered. You know what I mean? No, I'm 5th, so I think I'm okay. I feel like my pace has been fine. I have a good understanding of how the car drives. Homestead is not really my favorite track, but I feel like, having a good race tonight was really beneficial to get away from that cut line. So just kind of go in there, try to finish top 10 or something, make sure the guys around me aren't gaining too many points, and hopefully come out with something a little bit better than that, maybe a chance to win or something like that. But yeah, I don't feel concerned at all missing it. I don't even know what races we have left, so I didn't know Homestead was next. But yeah, I feel fine. I think we'll do what we can and try to avoid some wrecks and finish like we did, if not a couple spots better.
Homestead, Martinsville, Phoenix Auto Club, and Legacy Atlanta wrap up your final 5 races for FTF. Kevin, thanks so much for being here. Congratulations on the third place finish. We'll see you next week from Homestead.
I appreciate it. I just want to say congratulations to Justin Bolton. He's been working on that 98 car for about 5 years, and he finally was able to put all the nuts and bolts together for once, and they destroyed the field tonight. So congratulations to him. I think that might be his first win on the 98 car. So he's super happy with that. So congratulations to those guys. But thanks for all you guys. Thanks for all the racers tonight. We'll see you all next week.
There you have it. That's Kevin King coming home P3 tonight. Oh, man. Sean, I think you're going to have to come back next week.
I mean, I don't have a choice. I don't think if we want to have more racing like this. But, man, that was, like I was saying throughout the entire race, that was one of the most exciting iRacing races, period. I think I've watched in a long time, besides, the Firecracker 400s. This year was a great race. Yep. This race was a fantastic race as well. So shout out to everybody at FTF for putting on a great show. Shout out to all the drivers for just, besides that little lull we had in the first 3/4 of the race, everybody having a great side-by-side battle, 3-4 wide at times, just exciting stuff throughout. Hope you guys, no matter where you're watching, enjoyed this one tonight. We definitely enjoyed bringing it to you guys, and can't wait to see what Homestead has in store. It might be similar to this. Hopefully the outside works a little better than it does, but nonetheless, man, it doesn't get much better than this as far as, mile and a half racing on iRacing. This race definitely delivered tonight.
Zach, I'm going to put you to work one last time. Can you get what Justin just sent in the booth onto the broadcast? It's the updated points. Parker White and Michael Guest advance. The cut line is
hastily
tight.
put
Here we
together
go.
graphic.
Yeah, well, this is what we've done all year long. Blake Reynolds in by 98. Mercurio in by 79. Falkingham in by 65. Kevin King in by 58. Botafuco in by 53. Brandon Hawken, he was quiet tonight. He comes home at 32 points above the cut line. Michael P. Frisch and Wyatt Tinsley are tied.
Wow.
32 points back. Then Matthews Whack, 89 points back. Kevin McAdams, 92 points back. Nobody locked in or locked out, because you can earn easily triple-digit points the way the FTF point system is set up. So nobody locked in outside of Parker White and Michael Guest, and nobody really in a must-win scenario going into next week at Homestead. So there are really 6 spots up for grabs. It's going to be a fun race next week from Homestead. We'll have it for you right here on FTF. Michael Guest, your winner of your Slipstream Signs Jackpot 300 by 1/1000th of a second. Thanks to Zach Johnson, our producer, all the folks at FTF. Sean Butler, along with me, I'm Jacob Pitts. So long from Las Vegas. We're going to the beach. We'll see you at Homestead next week.